Oh, aloha, my brothers. Look who's back in town. It's so good to be back here with all of you guys. I've forgotten how to do this job. I don't know what day it is. You have to bear with me. I'm still very much on island time. And you can see, if you're watching on YouTube, this is how I dress now. This is just what I do. I've got a Hawaiian shirt on. I've got a lei. And I'm feeling tan and refreshed. And it's so good to be back with you guys. That's a bold-faced lie. I wish to God I was still woke. I wish I was waking up in Honolulu Bay right now having my morning coffee. So, but I'm going to do my very best. I did miss you guys specifically.
3 a.m. over there. Morning coffee?
Morning coffee. Yeah, I woke up about 3 or 4 every day, except for one day. But, man, it's good. It's so good to be with you guys especially. And I wanted to start the show by thanking you again for allowing me to have this vacation with my family. It was our first real trip away, and it went so smoothly. It couldn't have gone better, really. It could not have been a better trip for us. I am Woodsy, and in Hawaiian, it's Kiwi. That's my name in Hawaiian, Kiwi.
Like the fruit.
Like the fruit. Paulie is our executive producer, imaging director of the station. He is Paolo. Which
makes sense.
That's cool,
Yeah.
Paolo.
Yeah, I'll take that.
It's also your Italian name.
Yep. And then Benjamin Higgins is Penny, P-E-N-I. If you add an S to it, it's penis. So, Penny, Kiwi, and Paolo this morning.
Well, it's
Well, I'm
very
glad
good.
you had a great time.
I had a great
You're
time.
not allowed to go anywhere like that for that long.
Well,
Paulie and I are just here for the Wood Show to sit and enjoy it for the
Have
next
fun.
4
Hey,
hours. so.
The next 4 hours
all
is
me.
your canvas.
All right, where do I start? No, thank you guys. I really want to thank you. And I've already decided, I'm just let you know now, we're already planning next year. So there will be one small change. I will 100% take the equipment with me and broadcast from wherever I go.
All right, we got that on the record.
That's on the record. I would have no problem doing it. We have the perfect house to do it in. The internet and Wi-Fi is spotless. It's phenomenal. I didn't really miss a pitch on the island. I think I saw every game. Ask me if I remember them. No, but I watched them. I watched them all in the moment and was really pleased by what I saw. But it was just an incredible trip. And with two little kids, to have a pretty seamless trip was pretty great.
Well, let's get into it.
All right.
Can I just ask you some
fire away.
questions about how it went, and you can kind of just share some of the details. But first of all, traveling with the kids, flights, everything go as planned, or any unexpected mishaps or adventures?
It was so easy and seamless. iPads are a great invention. We don't give our kids the iPad very much. When you have a 6-hour flight, you give your kid the iPad. And then they turn into salivating, rabid dogs when you take the iPad away. But you wear that for a little while and you move on. But they were great, man. Bo was phenomenal. Taylor, they were both so good on the plane. Hannah was elite mom, packed all kinds of snacks. I mean, we wanted for nothing. So we got on the flight out, no problem, landed, get the rental car, the whole thing, and then went out to the house. And I was just blown away at how beautiful that island was. We were on Kauai, and it's almost like, you ever see, like when you see like Brad Pitt, you're like, bro, you're too good looking. It's too beautiful there. So I did the driving. So all I heard the whole time was, ooh, look over there. And I'm on this 1-lane road, and I'm like, shut up. And I told you guys, my father-in-law completely domed me out about all the locals. He's like, you better watch your speed. You better watch how you talk to people. No road rage, no nothing. So I'm white knuckling the whole drive to the thing. We get there, we unpack, and we just walk down to Honolulu Bay, and I just went, oh. And it's where Puff the Magic Dragon, so you can see the dragon. You see like the beautiful mountains, and it makes up the shape of a dragon, which is where that dude got the inspiration for that song. And in a land called Honolulu, but it's Honolulu Bay. So we just walked down the beach and swam and jumped off the pier and ate together, and we just had the best time. The boys were, 9 out of 10, really. And so that was cool.
I'd ask you about the weather, but it's Hawaii, so,
Dude, it's so good.
80s.
It's so good.
Warm.
It is so good.
Perfect.
It's too good looking. It's too beautiful there. And everywhere you look, you're like, whew, man. It was wonderful. It was a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful trip.
Always like to know about foods, things
All
that
right.
you consumed while you were there.
So a lot of people told me, Woodsy, you got to hit up the chicken in a barrel. And I did. It was one right by our house. And I broke a crown
What?
my second day there eating ribs, Hawaiian ribs, and I cracked one of my crowns. So I have like a hole back here, so I have to get that fixed in the next week. So that kind of sucked as I spit out a tooth. Didn't really have the taste for Hawaiian barbecue after that.
You're not supposed to eat the bones.
Don't eat the bones.
Yeah.
And I broke a crown, so that kind of sucked. So shaved ice is something that I thought I had before. A snow cone, if you will. Oh, no. You guys know that they put ice cream at the bottom of it? Vanilla
I don't know
ice
that I've ever
cream.
gotten to the bottom. Really? That's fantastic.
So it's ice cream on the bottom, and then the big snow globe, and then they put the syrup over it, and you start to eat, and you're like, what the? I didn't get any vanilla. Oh my God, that's ice cream. And it's the greatest thing you've ever had. I had about 3 of those. The best meal I had was the last night at a place called The Dolphin. Very kind of trendy spot in Honolulu Bay, and right by the river, beautiful. And I had a ribeye, a teriyaki ribeye there that make you,
Now we're talking.
bro. I ate every bit. The fat, I ate the fat. I licked the plate. It was unbelievable. We had a little sushi that was spectacular. Obviously,
It's going to be fresh.
this dude, took my kids down. So if you've ever seen the movie The Descendants, the whole thing where they film in Kauai is right where we are. And there's a restaurant there called Tahiti Nui. And they show it in the movie. The beach that he's talking to this woman on, there's the pier in the background that we jumped off of. It's right where we were swimming, and we swam every day. And George Clooney's in it. It was really cool. So we went to this place, and there's this traditional Hawaiian man in the full garb. And he is cutting fresh mango with a knife. And he's cutting it. He's like, would your boys like some? And I said, yeah. And so they walked up. They ate a big fat piece of fresh mango. And Taylor walks up to him. I didn't see Taylor. He goes, can I have another one? So he cuts him off another one. He crushes that. Man, it was really spectacular. So we were in an Airbnb. So we went to the store. We bought a bunch of groceries. We kind of made breakfast and lunch at home. And then, ate where we wanted to. We had pizza and just kind of normal stuff. We had little kids with us. So we did not do the big fancy meal every night, which was great.
Any luau's.
We went to one fire show, and that was spectacular. Now, I will say, it's kind of like radio. You want to get to the meat. You want to get to the meat of a story. And instead of getting to the meat of the story, this guy came out. He played like 6 Hawaiian songs on acoustic guitar.
Remember, they're on island time.
They are on island time.
No reason to hurry there.
Played about 6 songs on acoustic guitar, and then he's like, okay, we take a short break. We'll be right back. They leave. I'm like, what in the world? About an hour goes by. Then they come out and they do the big fire show, and it was phenomenal. But it was about a 3.5-hour deal. My kids were great. We stayed the whole time. I only had 2 cocktails on the whole island, and there's a reason for it. I had a Mai Tai at the fire show, and I had a pina colada with my wife, and when we got one night away at a hotel, just the 2 of us. And I texted Paulie. I said, I don't know what they put in these drinks, but they're like gasoline. I said, I'm S-faced. I had one pina colada.
Rum.
Ben, this is not regular rum. Bro, I had one pina colada. Hannah passed out. She passed out at 6:15. I texted Paulie. I'm like, I'm in a hotel room watching movies at 6:30, and I'm hammered. And, but, bro, it's spectacular.
So, Paulie and I have a question
Shoot.
because we talked about this while you were gone. Hiking. Were you going to
you
actually
said-
follow through and do it?
You said you had nearly one a day.
Yeah, you had all
planned.
these hikes planned, and we go, there's no way he's going to be
So-
going on daily hikes up through the mountain part of Kauai and then the beaches. Did you really?
Like, I can't remember.
Hike
I
it
think
out.
It might have been off the air, but we did set a bet. The line was 1.5 hikes.
You were going to do one. I was pretty sure you get to the first one, and then you'd probably go, I don't need to do another hike.
Even if it was more of a flat walk, you'd call it the hike. I took the under.
You hit. You
Ah!
hit. Yeah, you hit. Once I got there, now I will say my in-laws did a phenomenal job. They planned the fire show, and they planned the night away for us, and they planned all this stuff. But what you find is, the longer you're there, the less the schedule seems to matter, and you're like, I just feel like doing this thing. I had one day where I just didn't leave the house. Really, I just was kind of around the house, and I went down to the bay, which is a 5-minute walk, and swam, but I didn't feel the need to. I had no desire really to say, let's drive. The driving is what got me. We did one day where we went down to Poipu and up to Poipu, and it took an hour
Down
to Poipu. Down to Poipu.
Over
Hour and 45 minutes because there was there was construction. Hour 45. So after that, I said, the less I'm in the car, the better. I just want to be around Honolulu. Once you're in Honolulu, you
should have called Kelly Danick. She could have given you the traffic
Here's
reports.
Here's the traffic report for Hawaii. It pretty much sucks all the time. And if anything happens,
Some idiot left a surfboard in the middle of the road.
if anything happens, on the road, you're done. You just sit and rot.
Because that's the road.
That's the road. It's like the road. How do I get to the airport? Oh, you just take the road to it. If the road is closed, you turn around and you go home. So once that happened, I go, man, I just want to stay here at the home base. So no, I did not go to Queen's Bath. I did not hike to go see waterfalls. We took a boat tour up the Nepali coast, though, 4-hour boat tour that was into caves with waterfalls coming down. We stopped. We snorkeled. My whole family snorkeled. Taylor, I got to hold Taylor, and Bo finally would put his face in and see some fish and stuff. Hannah actually got in there and snorkeled, which I was really surprised. I snorkeled like a madman. I had a blast. It was the most beautiful place I've ever been. I didn't really want to go, and I got hit with a little VD, little vacation depression, the last day. Not that kind of VD.
Scared me for a second.
I got hit with a little bit of it the last day, and I slept a lot and just kind of bummed around because I knew we had to leave the next day. It was remarkable.
That means it was a really good trip, though.
Oh, dude.
Normally, you're like 2 days before it's. Can we leave early?
Dude, yes.
I'm glad you didn't feel that way.
I did not feel that way, which means it's a good vacation. And I feel recharged. I slept and I relaxed like crazy.
I'm not saying it in any way like it's a flaw of yours, but it is something that you do when you take your smaller vacations, your out of town couple nights away trips, whether it's LA, Joshua Tree, Palm Springs.
Yeah.
You're either home early or you leave at 5 a.m. the day that you're you like to get out of there and get home early.
I do.
You can't do that on the island.
No, you
really have an airplane waiting for you, and you're waiting until that day.
Yeah, man. We timed everything out perfect yesterday. The flight back was a literal breeze, a piece of cake. And we landed. I got gifts for you guys. I'll give them to you now.
Thank you.
All right. So everybody in Hawaii uses these, and I want you guys to have them. This is the only towel you will ever need.
I needed a new towel.
Nice.
These are sick.
It actually says the only towel you need.
The only towel you'll ever need. Paulie, I know you like the island macadamia nut.
Yeah, now we're talking.
Benny, you do not like those.
I'm not a macadamia nut guy.
So I got
what did
you
I get?
this shirt. Now, your size is what's bothering me.
I'm kind of in between.
You're a tweener.
Yeah.
This is a very Irie shirt that my wife wanted to make sure.
I can see that.
She wanted the Irie colors of it. And it is from Bubba's, and some of the best burgers I've ever had. There's this special relish.
Not Bubba Gumps.
we did not hit Bubba Gumps.
How's the Chili's out there in Kauai?
I'm good.
There
Thank
you
you
go.
very much, Woods.
So
And I know this looks like it's perfect size.
Okay, good. But I really love you guys, and I missed you, and I'm full of the Aloha spirit. As you can see, this is how I dress now. This is what I do.
There was a tweet about some sort of nudist camp interaction. Why don't we we'll save that for table that a little bit later, because we do want to get into the Padres and what happened last night, and we do have a Wednesday show to get to, and I know there's a lot of Padres fans who want to talk about what happened last night and how well the team is playing.
Let me tell you guys something listening. I wore my City Connect Padres hat almost every day I was there, and I got stopped every single day by Island Padre fans. I saw one Dodger fan and it looked like it was a guy. It looked like an off-color Dodger fan, like, this matches my outfit. Every person I ran into was like, oh, you're from San Diego. I love the Padres. In fact, do you guys know local legend Bird Huffman of Bird Surf Shed? You guys know Bird?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know the name.
Yeah.
His brother checked me in to play golf. Nice. And he's like, you're from San Diego? Yeah, do you know my brother Bird Huffman? I'm like, do I ever? He did surf reports on the radio station I used to work at. And all these huge Padres fans over there.
You might forget, but from 1971 to 1982, Hawaii was the AAA affiliate of the Padres. Tony Gwynn played there. Yep. I think Flan was there. So a lot of Padres from that era passed through Hawaii and created kind of a generation of Padres fans in the island. So it is actually a pretty good hotbed of San Diego Padres fandom over there.
It really was. It really was. Everywhere I went, ended up talking Padres baseball with somebody and saw a bunch of tier ones at the airport. They were going out for a baseball tournament for their kids, and it was a real special trip, man, from stem to stern.
All right, well, we're glad to have you back.
Good to be back. Let's get into it.
Let's get into it. Yeah, we'll set the menu. It is a Big League Wednesday. We'll tell you what's coming up on the show.
Set
Obviously,
the menu, Peni.
Yeah, said it. Penny. I like Peni. It's like multiple penises.
Plural.
Looks
okay.
Like Peni.
That's what it says.
Kiwini, Stephen.
Peni.
I like Penny, like Penny Hardaway.
I like calling you Peni.
I like Peni better. I really do.
We'll get into last night's rain delay.
Ben's like, I don't like this nickname anymore.
Like this.
It looks like you put it on the screen. It looks like there's a flower hiding the S at the end of the word, just hidden at the end.
Look at that with the little flowers.
Flower should be an eggplant.
This is great. This is great.
We'll get into all of it coming up. Let's see how Kelly's traffic looks, at least in San Diego and on the road out there on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Every time I hear a song now, I think about where we could make Jesse incorporate it into another broadcast.
So I've missed.
I just want to use your love tonight. Could be when they go to Colorado.
Of course.
Charlie Blackmon or something.
Now, I've missed both of these bits.
Right.
So do you have last week's? I'd like to hear it if you don't have it, because I'm the music guy, and you guys have been doing music bits without me.
Exactly. So, this was inspired by a weird minor league broadcaster who just started working Carry On My Wayward Son lyrics into a home run call.
It was
really
I think you were there for that.
I was there for that.
Yeah.
It was like, and that ball is hit deep to right field, and that ball is gone. Carry on, my wayward son. Carry on.
That was so good.
Weird.
So, we had Jesse do some Kansas lyrics last week. Dustin
Get in the air, foul out of play right
And
side.
you want to be playing, don't get me wrong, you want to be playing well enough early to be able to stay in the thick of things, but you want your best baseball to come this time of the year, second half of the season.
Yeah, the reality is if you're pitching great in September and October, any struggles you might have had in April and May are nothing but dust in the wind.
That's right.
Yes, that's
Now,
so good.
we gave him like a B minus because he got the words in, but he didn't get the whole
We
lyric.
want the full lyric, though. All we are is dust in the wind.
All we are is dust in the
wind.
wind.
We clarified this week, and Paulie had the idea, well, they're going to Pittsburgh. Let's pick a Pittsburgh artist.
Bro, I had to look it up.
Yeah, and
It was like Wiz Khalifa, Christina Aguilera.
went to high school, North Allegheny High School in Pittsburgh.
Bret Michaels from Poison is from Pittsburgh, but they're not a Pittsburgh band.
Right.
They're an L.A. band.
But it led to, of course, a great song lyric that Jesse had to work into the broadcast last night. I had plenly of time with the rain delay.
My God.
But here is this week's song lyric incorporator.
I am beautiful in every single way.
Christina Aguilera, I am beautiful
Aguilera.
in every single way, Jesse. And we want the direct quote if you can somehow work that in.
I am beautiful in every
am
single
beautiful
way.
in every single way.
So we go to the top of the ninth yesterday.
This like
Ooh,
this
wow.
this reinvigorates my incorporator nervousness. It wasn't. It was missing something after so many years of doing it, and now I'm like nervous again. This
5
is great.
hours after the game was scheduled to begin, we finally get to the incorporator. Okay.
Yeah.
Oscar Marine, the pitching coach for the Pirates, now out to chat with Santana, Bart, the entire infield. Solano over there talking to first base coach David Macias, telling him, I am beautiful in every single way.
Oh, he sang it.
What a night for Solano. 4
sang it.
hits, 2 of them, 2-run singles.
I definitely think this ups the difficulty, though, for Jesse.
Bro.
It's tough to put in song lyrics out of context.
No question. There's no question. That was brilliant. And he
Telling
sang
him,
it.
I am beautiful in every single way.
He sounds a little under the weather too. Jesse sounds a little stuffy.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe a little bit. Now I was thinking about it yesterday on the 6-hour flight back, and I got up. You're sitting on your ass the whole time, and you stand up and you walk down the jetway to go get your bags. And I thought to myself, it's the first thing I thought. These guys are sitting, rotting in the clubhouse, waiting to go out and start playing baseball again. They do flights like that all the time. All the time. My ass was hurting. My knees were killing me. And I didn't have to go get on a table, get mentally prepared to go out and face 97 mile an hour. And I go, just a whole new respect. Anytime you travel, these guys travel so much. Cross country, it doesn't matter. It just one of those things that popped into my head as I was leaving yesterday. They do this all the time.
Second East Coast road trip since the All-Star break already for the Padres.
And that was the first of how many games in a row?
27 games in 28 days, or 26
Now
and
it's
27.
26 and 27.
So
Good
it's a tough stretch for the Padres. They get off to a great start yesterday, but with some drama, with some rain difficulties, and we'll talk about the impact on the team coming up. Our Padres wrap-up in our next segment, get to the highlights, how well the bullpen performed with Dylan Cease, only able to go the 1 inning because of the rain delay. We'll have an update for you on Joe Musgrove. If you missed that last night, I'm sure most of you heard the good news. I'll spoil it a little bit. Joe's coming back probably this weekend, but that is now up in the air a little bit after what happened last night. So do that. Take on Woods. John did a great job while you were gone, defended your honor.
Good.
In fact, we may need to do a John Flint versus Stephen Woods take on Woods tournament sometime soon, because he really killed it a few of these games.
Anytime, any place.
All right. Don't do this at 7:20, and then it is a Big League Wednesday. It'll be nice to have you back to talk to Adam Jones and Bret Boone. We did fine without you, but I think they miss you when you're not here.
I miss them too.
7:35 for AJ, 8:35 for Bret Boone.
You
And
know who
AJ's
did miss you was Ted Leitner.
Oh,
Said he
yeah.
wants to come
He
back
wants to come
in
back when you're here.
When
I
you're
would
here.
love it. I would love it so
He
much.
specifically said, I would love to come back on a day when Woods is here.
Anytime.
And shoot the breeze and just talk sports. I made Ted talk about himself and his career and his life a little bit too much.
Did he tell the Dodger story?
He told
Yes.
he told Dodger stories, Tommy Lasorda stories. He got into all of it.
What
He
a-
said,
it was
"Oh, they-
fantastic.
They hate me.
Yes.
They hate me
what
over there.
What a great pull.
But he wants to come back when you're here.
I
So
love it.
that'll be fun. And then Reindl Report and get you ready for another Padres game this afternoon, hopefully without the weather implications of last night's game. But we'll come back and we will go through the highlights and what happened last night in Pittsburgh with our Padres wrap-up next on, Kiwi and Penny on San Diego's number one
Penny.
sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Baseball coverage on 97.3 The Fan is presented by T-Mobile. Switch to T-Mobile. You can get tons of benefits. Still save on every plan versus AT&T and Verizon. Use their savings calculator to find out how at T-Mobile.com/switch. Before we get into our Padres wrap-up highlights, the start of the game obviously was a mess last night. We knew, the reports were out there that rain was coming. So this was not a surprise to the umpiring crew, Major League Baseball, the Pittsburgh Pirates, that rain was there. It rained earlier in the day, got nice, before game time, and they decided to get the game started. And then, of course, in the middle of the second inning, so 9 outs into the game, it starts raining, and they got to pull the tarp out onto the field. And if that had been the end of it, and then they had started playing again at about 45 minutes, all right, well, Dylan Cease threw a no-hitter with a rain delay in Washington a couple of weeks ago. This isn't going to be the worst thing. But because PNC Park's drainage was backed up or so poor, even though it stopped raining, they could not play the game for another 2 hours and 40 minutes, which, of course, impacted both teams. But you got to say, the Padres having their ace on the mound and getting only 3 outs out of Dylan Cease, that was a huge, huge decision to even get that game started, and a costly one, likely to the San Diego Padres.
Imagine being on an airplane with phenomenal Wi-Fi, loading up the game on your phone to watch, to kill, half the trip? At least a third of the trip,
easily.
at least. And getting through that first inning, and then you see the tarps being rolled out, and I just went, all right, well, back to the latest John Grisham thriller that I'm reading, and that's it. And by the time we landed, they had started again, and Bo and I watched a lot of it while we were waiting for our bags. I couldn't believe it either, and I tweeted Bush League. I don't think it was actually Derek Shelton's call. I think it was Major League Baseball's, but that was a bad call by Major League Baseball to start that game.
So I heard the same take. Steve Phillips said, if I was the Padres, I would be mad about how that played out. Now, Mike Schilt was not mad. He actually complimented the umpiring crew on how they handled everything. And I guess you can't know.
That's correct.
I guess you can't know that it's going to create a big lake out in left field. You assume, all right, it's going to rain for 40 minutes. Let's get this started. We'll get through the delay. We'll just pick it up and we'll go. But because of the poor infrastructure, and I don't know that I blame the umpires. I blame the Pirates for having substandard drainage and facilities at their stadium. This is a big league ballpark.
I was driving home last night listening to Jesse and Scan, and Jesse was saying that the grounds crew, when they came out in the third inning, as they do for every game to redo the infield, he goes, they were booed. The grounds crew was booed by the home crowd.
Well, you saw the
they were trying to. The guy was digging into the drain, trying to pull out whatever. Felt like your kitchen sink or your bathroom sink with the, when the hair gets down the sink and you got to pull it out, but they could not get that water to drain.
They could not, man, and Mudd was talking about it on the broadcast as well. Yeah, you'd think a place like Pittsburgh would be dialed in for that. I don't know if there was some issues with it, like you said, like a clog or something, but it just was not draining, and it created a nice little puddle, nice little lake out there that Jackson Merrill feigned. He pretended he was going to go for a dive and a swim, and it was pretty bad. And those are bad conditions. You don't want your guys, when they're about to go into this huge stretch of theirs that's going to be right in the middle of the dog days. It's the last thing you want, man, is a guy pulling up, slipping, sliding, tearing a hamstring, something like that. So it was a bit dicey, but they got it done.
However, what it turned into was a bullpen game between both teams. And clearly, that's advantage San Diego Padres, especially post-trade deadline. And it did play out that way. Now, they'll have to deal with the aftermath, and we'll talk about that. Yeah. But let's get into the highlights. We got our Padres wrap-up coming up right after this check of traffic on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Air Max, San Diego's highest-rated heating and air company. Visit them at airmax.com. Well, crews have cleared that crash on southbound 15 at the South 163 connector ramp. Now an accident on westbound 52, right before Mast Boulevard. No details as to whether that is blocking any lanes. And we got a crash at the coastline now, northbound 5, right before Encinitas Boulevard. Several vehicles involved in this one. They managed to get that moved into the center divide. Looking for the best in HVAC? Choose Air Max San Diego's highest rated heating and air company with free diagnostics on all repairs and estimates. See why over 1,300 happy customers have given Air Max 5-star Yelp reviews. See Air Max today at airmax.com. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Wood, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
I love winning, man. I love winning. You hear what I'm saying? It's like better than losing.
Oh my God, I'm so stiff.
Miss any of the Padres win yesterday? Ben and Woods didn't.
What up, crew?
We've got you covered with all of the highlights.
I like it when the Padres win.
Yeah! Yeah! It's the Padres Wrap-Up, presented by Hamul Casino. With thrilling slots and tables and all the best rewards, Hamul Casino has all the fun you're looking for. Hamul Casino, fun above all else.
Yeah! Give me a do damage.
Do damage.
Expecting a bunt, he swings away, sends it in the air to shallow center field. Kinder Falefa back, Bay comes sliding in, and he can't make the catch, goes off his glove, ends up on the outfield grass. They throw to second. Peralta beats the throw there. Merrill comes in to score, and the Padres take a 1-0 lead. 1-0, Solano rips it into left field and a base hit. Peralta will score. Wade is on his way. He will score. Another hit for Donovan Solano. This one a 2-run single, and the Padre lead is 3-0. As the 3-2, runners go, served into right field, and a base hit. Profar on his way. He's going to score. Solano goes first to third. RBI single, Xander Bogaerts, and a 4-0 Padre lead. From Santana, swung on, lined into center field. That's a base hit. Wade's going to score easily. Profar's right behind him. He's going to come in to score. Donovan Solano's 4th hit of the night is his 2nd 2-run single of the evening, and the Padres lead it 6-0. Estrada delivers, Hayes swings and misses strike 3, and Jeremiah Estrada puts an exclamation point on this 6-0 win on a very long night in Pittsburgh. The game began at about 6:45 p.m. local time. It ends at 12:01 a.m. the very next morning. Final score, Padres 6, Pirates nothing.
Our guys love to play, so I knew they were going to come out regardless of circumstances and be ready to compete. But it starts on the mound, you know, and Hoying was fantastic. I mean, what a tremendous job by him. And you know, now we're looking to get 8 innings out of our bullpen, which we were able to do and piece together. But, you know, we knew we were going to have to use multiple guys. But Hoying taking the 3 2/3 as efficient as he did, and also being as effective as he was, you know, with throwing up the zeros was tremendous to set us up.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, that's a trade deadline win right there.
Huge.
That's going out, making moves to improve your team, and then seeing those moves actually help you win a game directly, you know, a few days after you made them. And Brian Hoying, who many thought just kind of the throw-in in the Tanner Scott deal, was absolutely critical, as Mike Schultz said, coming in relief of Dylan Cease and throwing 3 2/3 shutout innings. You had the other pickups also into the game. Jason Adam got into a little bit of trouble, but Tanner Scott got him out of it. Maybe an underrated moment. The strikeout with the bases loaded. They actually got the tying run to the plate. He blew, who was it? The Triolo, was it? Just absolutely blew him away. Like high schooler facing a little leaguer or something in that situation. It just showed us why they were so high on Tanner Scott and went out and got him last week.
He's outstanding, and I remember I can't remember what game it was, but when he gave up a home run, the look on his face, the look of disgust with himself after giving up that home run, and you do feel like I can't remember who hit it, but I'm still on island time, Benny. I don't remember who hit it, but when he did, he looked and he was like, huh. All right, that's not going to happen again. I mean, like Skip Schumacher said, the guy's a dog. So I've loved everything that I saw when I was gone, man. Guys have been playing really well. And how about the guys stepping up yesterday? Tyler Wade thrust into action with Ha-Seong Kim being out with, I believe, a sore tricep. And Tyler Wade coming in, getting the job done, 2 for 3, RBI, scored 2 runs. I mean, playing fine shortstop. Everybody stepping up. Donovan Solano. Good Lord. Donovan Solano, 4 RBIs last night, incredible. Continues to mash. I think he's 500 in his last 12 games or something.
So he's been doing this all season, but let's let's point out that the degree of difficulty was much higher last night for Donovan Solano. First of all, he's not getting the regular at-bats that he did before Xander Bogaerts came back. So he's got to do this coming off the bench, every, minimal activity and staying sharp. And then he was in there because they were facing a left-handed starter.
Yeah.
He didn't, but then they went with right-handed relievers. So he had to do his at-bats against, he had 4 hits, and 3 of them, I think, were against righties, the guy who's supposed to be your platoon guy that attacks lefties. So extra degree of difficulty for Donovan Solano. And it did lead, I saw someone tweeted me last night, I see it in the chat now, with Ha-Seong Kim struggling and now maybe a little banged up. Is it time to get Donovan Solano back into the starting lineup and, reduce Ha-Seong Kim's playing time while he's not playing well?
Well, so everybody, listen, and I'm a big fan of the hot hand guy, going with the guy that's hitting the ball and squaring the ball up, and Donovan Solano is certainly doing that. He has earned more playing time, yes. He's 36 years old. This is a role that they have found for him where it's working. If you were going to give him 5 games a week, would he continue at this torrid pace? I don't know. I can't say that he won't, but I also can't say that he will. He gives the bench so much. It's such a nice depth piece for them to have.
Well, let's play it out logically. So let's say you want Donovan Solano in there and get Ha-Seong Kim, some more time off. All right, where are you playing Donovan Solano?
Maybe first base.
You're not playing him at short.
No. But you put Xander at short and you put Jake at second.
Okay, so you're moving Xander after you did the whole thing. You can do this.
He's done it. He's done it this year.
And you're putting Solano at first and moving Jake back to second.
If you want to ride the hot hand, that's what you have to do.
Because Solano has not played second regularly since 2020. He has 1 game there this year. A handful of games the last 2 years, but he hasn't played regularly at second since 2021. So you're moving Jake again back to second.
Yep. Which he'll have no problem with.
I know he would, but metrically he's been much better at first defensively.
Which is the opposite of last year.
Solano is not going to be as good of a defender wherever you put him out there. You're losing defensively with Kim out there, and you're moving Xander again after he's hitting well. I'd be kind of loath to move things around too much at this point with as well as the team has been playing.
I'm with you. Jeff says in the chat, as Schulte would say, we found a lane for Solano that works so well. Keep him in that lane going forward. Sure. Donovan does not play shortstop, Rod. You do not want Donovan Solano at short.
He has in the past, but not at 36 years old
many years.
Not having done it in many years.
Many years. With Kim struggling with the stick a little bit, and now being banged up, it's a nice problem to have, I guess. But the guy that worries me the most is Luis Ariz. Every swing he takes is like, it looks like he got shot in the hand or hit with a hammer. I don't know.
Good to get him a day off again yesterday.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, when is that going to, how severe is that injury that he's playing through clearly? I want him in there. I want him healthy. Can you afford having a guy like Donovan Solano, though? Could afford you could give him a 10-day rest. You could give Luis Ariz a 10-day rest with a guy like Donovan Solano there.
Make him the DH.
Make him the DH. Yeah. So you can figure it out. But he's played so well. He's played so well, and what a huge night for him. And again, bottom of the order, getting it done last night. Manny goes 0 for 5, hits into 2 double plays, but makes 2 spectacular defensive plays to help quell any start of a rally. Just a really good team win after a kind of a beating. Again, a game. I think Craig Elston made the point on Twitter. 100%, not to beat a dead horse, but they don't win that game last year. There's no way. There's no way they win that game last year. None.
After they have the excuse of the rain delay built in.
Yeah.
And just wasn't. Things didn't go our way. It wasn't our night.
Kimmy's out. This guy's banged up. Whatever. These guys are getting the job done, man. It's really, really pleasant to see.
So not only was it a good night for the Padres, but it was a good night for scoreboard watching as well, as the Braves lost, the Mets lost, Giants lost, and the Dodgers lost to the Philadelphia Phillies last night, 6-2. That was the late game, and the Padres now just 4 games out of first place in the National League West standings. Absolutely, very much within striking distance.
Crazy
over these last 50-plus games remaining in the season. So, it's on now. The Dodgers, they may or may not admit it, but they feel the Padres now breathing down their necks, right? It's time. If you're a Dodger, you're feeling a little tight at this point, knowing you got a tough schedule this week with the Phillies. You have to play the Pirates, and you'll face Skeens this weekend. If the Padres stay hot, you know that probably in a week or so they're going to be right next to you in the standings.
Which is insane to think about. Insane to think about. And credit to the Padres for continuing to play very, very good baseball. It's been a lot of fun. I was so happy to leave and know that they only lost one time while I was gone. You guys didn't have to come in here and talk about brutal loss after brutal loss. Very, very proud of what I've seen from these guys. They're really fighting hard.
I will say one nice thing about the rain delay. Instead of going to the old magazine program, or this show was recorded in 2014.
Right.
About the All-Star game in San Diego in 2016 or something. They actually went to the live Fort Wayne game, and you got to see Ethan Salas play against the Cubs affiliate in South Bend. And I got to see Ethan Salas hit a go-ahead winning 3-run home run for the Fort Wayne Tin Caps last night in the 8th inning on the road with the wind blowing in.
Swing, man.
Really nice looking swing, and I thought that was the best possible secondary programming you could get. I tweeted out. I said we should do that if we ever have the opportunity during rain delay, because I know it's hard. Sammy played some great interviews that he did in spring training, but he's always thrown absolutely to the wolves on a rain delay. If we can go to some minor league Padres baseball, that was kind of cool. I thought that was a good choice last night. All right, now the Padres have to deal with the fallout. What does their pitching rotation look like going forward? We'll give you the update on Joe Musgrove coming up next, and play some Take on Woods with actual Woods here as well. All next year on 97.3 The Fan. So what are the Padres going to do going forward with their pitching rotation? Welcome back, Ben and Woods, and it is Ben and Woods, finally, for the first time in 8 days.
Is that how long
it's good
I was
to see
gone?
you.
Good Lord.
Yeah, you missed Tuesday through Tuesday, so last Monday was your last show.
Oh, wow.
So it's good to have you back.
What day is today?
Wednesday.
Today's Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesday the following week.
Okay.
Wednesday, Big League Wednesday. We got Adam Jones coming up at the bottom of the hour. Take on Woods in just a couple of minutes. Got a new prize this month. Pretty cool one, Woodsy. We've got 2 nights at Resorts World Las Vegas and tickets to Carrie Underwood at Resorts World. So if you want to play our musical trivia game, go ahead, dial it now or in the next few minutes. 833-288-0973. Stay on hold. Play in about 8 to 10 minutes. A little take on Woods. But okay, so we had this good news last night after his rehab start in Fresno on Sunday, which was supposed to be in San Antonio, Woods, but Joe Musgrove's flight got canceled, so they sent him to Fresno instead to pitch with Lake Elsinore. He joined the team in Pittsburgh, and they made the decision yesterday that he is good to go. Doesn't need another rehab start. His next start will come on the mound for the San Diego Padres. This road trip in Miami, one of the games, they didn't say which one, but one of the games likely this weekend against the Marlins. So Padres getting a pitcher back. Now, he won't be stretched out enough to go 6 innings. In fact, they probably are hoping for about 4 from Joe Musgrove in that game. Now, all of this was before the game yesterday. And I wonder now that Dylan Cease only got to throw an inning and you needed 8 innings from your bullpen, how you are going to handle the rest of this trip and the rotation going forward with 26 games in 27 days. There was talk yesterday. I heard Andy Nelston talking about, do you go to a 6-man rotation during this stretch and just add Joe into the mix along with Randy Vasquez and Martin Perez, who threw great while
he
you
was
were gone.
great. Yeah, watch that game.
That
he
was a surprise.
Getting
Be honest.
Yeah, let's be honest. I mean, all the whiffs that he got, I mean, it was spectacular.
Or
spectacular.
Do you just replace, Musgrove, put him in for either Vasquez or Perez and send one of those guys to the pen or to the minors when you need them to call back up? How do you handle this going forward? And who's going to pitch now on Thursday, tomorrow, which was a TBA, still is a TBA for the Padres? Could be Vasquez. It's his turn. Could be Perez. He'd be on normal 4 days rest. It could be a bullpen type day, but I wouldn't think you'd want to do that again after going 8 with your bullpen yesterday. How are you going to handle it? Or can Dylan Cease come back in just a couple of days, since basically he just threw kind of a bullpen essentially? Now, Schilt said after the game, doesn't think Cease would be able to come back on Thursday, but might be able to come back sooner than normal because he only threw 1 inning. Cease kind of said, I don't know, I mean, probably just pitch on Sunday like I was supposed to, but it sounds like they hadn't really communicated about that yet, and you'll probably get more clarification in the next day or so on what they are going to do. But there's certainly got to be some strategizing with Ruben Niebla and Mike Schilt and probably the entire, holistic brain trust of the Padres of how they're going to handle the rest of this road trip at least.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's also player dependent. How does Dylan Cease feel? If he feels fine, I don't think you want to upset the apple cart too much, do you? And I know, he was kind of bummed about not being able to pitch, and now he said something to the effect of, well, I guess now I'll just get a little bit of extra rest. I mean, obviously, such a big arm that we need down the stretch, too. Look, I don't want to take anybody lightly because it's baseball and these guys are playing for jobs as well. But the quality of opponent has something to do with it as well, and how you manipulate your pitching staff. It really does. And I don't think I'd have any problem with taking my chances against Randy Vasquez. Throwing when? Tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
Yeah, no problem with that. Michael King today.
But remember, Vasquez is another guy like King who hasn't thrown that many innings.
Yeah,
and
we've got a few of those guys.
You may want to save some bullets. I know Randy Vasquez is probably not in your playoff rotation, but he might be your swing man in the playoffs, and you can long man out of the bullpen, and you may want to save some of those bullets. Perez is a veteran who's
Give me the crafty veteran.
You may just work him to death if he's pitching well, throw him as much as possible.
Yeah.
Might as well, every fifth day.
That's kind of why you got him, isn't it?
That's exactly why you got him.
Yeah.
He's an arm, and no offense to Martin Perez, but he's an arm you don't really care about. What happens to him next?
That's so harsh.
I get it, but
I didn't miss the heartless Ben.
I know. But it's
Ben.
a cold game
Oh
sometimes, and he's a guy who's not. I mean, Tanner Scott's kind of the same way. He's a free agent at the end of the year. He says, "Pitch me every day. I want the ball." Okay, I mean, okay, we're not as concerned about what your next few years look like. With Michael King, you're absolutely concerned what the next year looks like for Michael King. Even with Dylan Cease, who's an absolute workhorse dog, you got him next year. You want to be a little bit careful, I think, with Dylan Cease. So when you're talking about, do you go to 6-man rotation? Do you go, hey, Perez every 5 days? Can Cease do every 5 days? And then the other guys you kind of work and you slowly get Joe back in there. You extend the time between starts for Michael King to save some of those innings. The guys who don't have the career numbers of 150-plus innings, do you give them more time and let your veterans take more of the load going forward?
Well, and again, I wasn't here for the trade deadline. I loved the idea and theory of adding a bunch of absolutely elite bullpen arms. I do. And I could be very tempted if I was the skipper of the San Diego Padres to overuse said shiny new toys. And I'm not saying that Mike Schilt will do that or has done that. But holy smokes, when it's sitting there in front of you, Benny.
It's tempting.
Yeah, I mean, getting one starter at the deadline in a Martin Perez, that's why you got him, is to go out there and pitch every 5th day and let the chips fall where they may. And if he's anything like he was in his first start, we're going to be just fine. If he's not, then yeah. I mean, how they're going to manipulate these next 3 weeks or so is going to be 4 weeks, is going to be very, very telling on how we finish the season. And they got their work cut out for them.
I mean, you've got to make the playoffs. And the best way to make the playoffs is Dylan Cease pitching as much as possible, especially as well as he's done. But you also want to have guys who still have something in the tank if you get to the playoffs. It's really... You're gambling, you're rolling the dice, you're trying to play the percentages here. Do you save some Dylan Cease and hope that helps him stay fresh into the playoffs? Do you work him hard to make sure you get there to try to catch the Dodgers? I mean, you're really going to catch the Dodgers if you're not throwing Dylan Cease out there every 5th day? I mean, that's going to be critical to make up the ground if you want to do that.
I 100%, I see what you're saying, but also, I mean, look at the schedule, right? Like, you should be able to beat a depleted Marlins team. I love you, Skip. I'm so sorry.
They just took 2 straight from the Braves.
I know they
did.
I know they did. And he's got them, he's got these guys playing for their lives. Certainly. He's a really good manager. And what he's been able to do with nothing, they've taken everything from him, is pretty remarkable. So, but again, you feel like you certainly don't want to punt those games, but if you feel like that these are your guys, if Vasquez is going to be a guy that's going to be able to get you out, so you use these guys and then use your bullpen as needed. And they have plenty of weapons down there to get the job done. One more starter would have been superb, but we didn't get it, so we got to figure it out now. And Joe coming back is clutch. It's so clutch. But, yeah, man, he's got to be effective, too. In those 50, 65 pitches or whatever, they need to be effective.
Sure, yeah. And he said yesterday that
it feels great.
That he felt like the first, when he went to Arizona and kind of threw, didn't have his feels or whatever he calls it, the motions, but he did feel pretty good in Fresno. He gave up a couple of runs and 4 hits, but I think it was 43 pitches, 35 strikes. Yeah. So that just tells me right there, you hit the strike zone that much, you've got something, you've got some sort of feel for coming back. Because if you can hit the strike zone, you can also just miss it as well.
Sure.
So I'd imagine he wanted to throw strikes. He did what he wanted to do in Fresno. They feel good enough that Joe can come back. But now with the bullpen taxed and, best case scenario, it's probably 4 innings. But what if it's not the best case? What if Joe throws well, but, they grind him out for a 25-pitch first inning and a 25-pitch second inning, and all of a sudden he goes 2 2/3 and gives up 2 hits and a run. But now you're
Brian
asking
time,
another. Well, yeah, but he just threw 3 2/3 innings today, so you got to be careful with that as well. So yeah, it's a dilemma. It's this is what they get the big bucks for. This is why Mike Schilt and AJ Preller and Ruben Niebla. This is more than anything else. This is what their job is, to try to figure this out going forward.
I have a feeling it's going to be very holistic. Very, very holistic. Probably a lot of overthinking and a lot of not over-managing, but certainly over-speculating.
Or maybe they just have a big wheel that they spin.
Spin it. Yeah. Darts at a board.
The wheel of starting pitchers, and that's how they decide. I got no idea what the process
That's what
looks
good
like.
teams do.
That's
right.
what good teams do. They spin the wheel. Hey, it looks like it's a Randy Vasquez day.
All right, Randy.
How fantastic is that?
That's great. That's great. I love it. Love it.
All right, you ready to play Take On
I'm ready.
Wednesdays?
It's been a while.
Good. You know how it works. Leave and let's play. All right, Take on Woods brought to you by Valvoline Instant Oil Change. It only takes 15 minutes. You don't have to get out of your car. For directions and discounts, go to SoCalOilChange.com. That's SoCalOilChange.com. Let's go to line 2. Is this Russell?
Yes, it is.
Russell, you are the contestant today for Take on Woods. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good. All right, if you can beat or tie Woods, we'll put you into the grand prize drawing. Great prize this month. 2 nights at Resorts World Las Vegas. 2 tickets to Carrie Underwood Reflection at Resorts World Theater. It's her new residency from August 14th through October 26th. Tickets are available at AXS.com and RWLasVegas.com. All right, you get to choose our category with Woods out of the room. Still have the Afterlife sitting there. 5 song titles and artists, including the word after. Sprechen Sie Deutsch. Those are bands and artists who made it big around the world, but German in theme. And we've got Dream a Little Dream. 5 song titles that contain the word dream. So the Afterlife, Sprechen Sie Deutsch, or Dream a Little Dream. Russell?
Oh, let's try Dream.
Dream a Little Dream. Okay, today we're looking for 5 song titles. They all contain the word dream in it. You have 60 seconds. If you don't know an answer, you can say pass. Come back to it if there's time left on the clock. First question's the 2-second song. Paulie queuing it up now. You have to identify both the song title and the artist to score that point. Russell, you ready to play?
I'm ready.
All right. 60 seconds on the clock. Paulie needs 1 second. Woods is out there blissfully unaware of everything going on in here. You let me know when you're ready, Paul?
Yeah, Spotify is not working today.
All right. That's going to make it hard to do the 2-second song. I'm good at stalling. We had to stall for 8 days while Woodsy was gone just to get him back.
I'm doing some daydreaming.
That's all right, Russell. What'd you think about the Padres game last night?
Good.
There we go. Good stalling. Thanks. Thank you for elaborating so eloquently on that, Russell, as we try to help Paulie out. I appreciate that. All right.
Sometimes fewer words are better. Yeah.
All right, here we go. 60 seconds on the clock. Your time begins when Paul plays the music. The category again, Dream a Little Dream. Good luck, Russell. Let's take on Woods.
Sweet Dreams by the Eurythmics.
Correct. Steven Tyler says he wrote which breakthrough 1973 hit for Aerosmith when he was just 14 years old.
Dream On.
Correct. Daryl Hall says it takes a rare edition of a specific Yamaha keyboard to create the distinctive sound of which 1981 Hall & Oates hit.
Pass.
One of my favorite song lyrics is when Crowded House sings Try to Catch the Deluge in a Paper Cup, in which 1986 hit.
Don't Dream It's Over.
Correct. Katy Perry reminisces about her youth, in which #1 hit and title track from her 3rd album in 2010.
Pass.
Daryl Hall says it takes a rare edition of a specific Yamaha keyboard to create the distinctive sound of which 1981 Hall & Oates hit.
Dreamtime.
Incorrect. Katy Perry reminisces about her youth, in which #1 hit and title track from her 3rd album in 2010. Last couple seconds.
No idea.
That's all right. You got 3. Time is up. That one is Teenage Dream by Katy Perry, and Daryl Hall & Oates is You Make My Dreams Come True. All right, that's 3. Let's bring Woods in, and we will see how his score holds up against yours. Russell, hang on the line. All right, you nervous? It's been a while. You remember how to play?
I do. I am.
2-second song, 60 seconds, pass if you don't know an answer.
That's right.
All right, you know. All right, you don't get the category. 60 seconds on the clock. Your time begins when Paul plays the music. Good luck, Woods. Let's take on Russell.
Sweet Dreams are made of these, the Eurythmics.
Correct. Steven Tyler says he wrote which breakthrough 1973 hit for Aerosmith when he was just 14 years old.
Dream On.
Correct. Daryl Hall says it takes a rare edition of a specific Yamaha keyboard to create the distinctive sound of which 1981 Hall & Oates hit.
Pass.
One of my favorite song lyrics is when Crowded House sings Try to Catch the Deluge in a Paper Cup.
Don't Dream It's Over.
Correct. Katy Perry reminisces about her youth, in which #1 hit and title track from her 3rd album in 2010.
Is it Teenage Dream?
It is. Daryl Hall says it takes a rare edition of a specific Yamaha keyboard to create the distinctive sound of which 1981 Hall & Oates hit.
Why can't I think of a Hall & Oates song other than Rich Girl? Dream.
You've got the theme.
Dreaming of your taint.
No, everyone missed all your guesses that have no chance at being right. Literally,
really?
I don't
What
think
song
there
is
is a popular
You
song.
Make My Dreams Come True?
I hate that song. That's why I don't remember.
You don't like the Yamaha keyboard at the beginning?
No, I didn't even notice it was there.
How'd
I
Russell,
do?
Sorry, 4-3. Woods wins. He's back with a victory. Like Fernando Tatis Jr. coming off the injured list with 2 home runs.
Yeah, that's how you do it.
Woods is right back with a win in Dream a Little Dream. Congratulations, Woods.
Thank you. Feels good.
All right, Don't Do This is coming up next.
Mahalo, Russell.
Mahalo.
Oh, how about Mad Dog? Mad Dog, Mad Dog.
I knew this was going to happen to someone.
I did too. I
almost feel bad that it's Mad Dog. He's not one of those guys who doesn't know baseball, because I know he does. Mad Dog? On MLB Network? Really? You don't think
Mad Dog.
Yeah.
Talking about Chris Russo.
Yes.
Yeah, he knows baseball in 1979.
All right, fair enough. I mean, this is...
I don't like
the guys he was talking...
wearing all these guards on their arm.
Fine.
Good Lord.
I knew it was going to happen to someone, but it was
Well, it got him.
so hard for me to listen to.
It's excruciating audio. We'll play it for you.
Indigestion hearing it, and we'll play it for you coming up next. Ben and Woods after traffic on 97.3 The Fan. Don't Do This is brought to you by the Craft Taco in Sorrento Valley. Paulie, expecting to have a trip to the Craft Taco in Sorrento Valley very soon.
Strap in, dude.
I can't wait.
Yeah, you're going to love it. Some of the best quality tacos in all of San Diego. Go to thecrafttaco.com. Take a look at their happy hour specials today at thecrafttaco.com. And I think we have to kick off Don't Do This with a shout-out to his family as well for our first story. And this was really sad. Former Padre Billy Beane passed away of leukemia yesterday at the age of 60. So, Paulie, if you would.
Wow. Was he?
So I was going to shout out to his family.
Oh, yeah,
first.
shout out
Sorry.
first.
Well, you should have told me that.
He did, I think.
I did, but you were. That's
And I
all right.
really hope we can see
On
more
the audio that you also
unity,
have.
We're back.
peace,
We are fully back.
when already things are so difficult. So, shout out to his family.
Now, of course, there are two significant Billy Beanes in baseball. One is Moneyball Billy Beane.
Yeah, Beane.
From Mount Carmel High School, general manager of the A's, president.
Yeah, both San Diego ties, right?
Yes.
Yeah, both have some San Diego ties. The other Billy Beane, the one who passed away yesterday, was most notable, not for necessarily his playing career, but after his career, he came out of the closet as gay, and that was very significant at the time. He played baseball without really letting any of his teammates know about it, and went through his career, and he became Major League Baseball's essentially ambassador for inclusion.
Yes.
Worked as in the Major League Baseball office, and I never got to meet him, but from whatever I heard, everyone who knew Billy Beane said, fantastic guy, really great guy, and everyone liked him.
Our beloved Tim Flannery tweeted about him, said, I absolutely loved Billy Beane. Backed up Tony Gwynn and played with him and loved him.
But as is the case when news breaks and you don't have all the information right away, and I was scared that this was going to happen when I saw it.
Yeah.
Someone was going to make the mistake.
Oh, yeah.
And it became pretty high profile because it was our friend Mad Dog, Chris Russo, doing, I think, his satellite radio show when he got the news.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was he? The word that we're getting right now is that the general manager of the A's, Billy Beane, may have passed away. Wow. Was he ill? Wasn't aware of this. I mean, he's not that old. Jeez, was it sudden? Let's see if we can get some information. Wow, that is a terrible story. With Billy Beane of the A's, I don't know anything about it. This is the first I've heard. He's an historic general manager on a team that, he built very good teams with not a lot to work with financially. The movie, of course, with Brad Pitt.
Right.
He's probably no more than 62 or 3. 60. Wow. Leukemia.
Yeah.
That's a terrible story.
It's a different one.
So Billy Beane of the A's. Now, had he taken a leave of absence in the last whatever it might be?
He at some point in about 30 more seconds, someone told him. And then he figured it out. And I get it. I mean, it's breaking news, but that's unfortunate that mistake was made. Billy Beane is still general manager of the A's, guys. Still alive.
Well, I don't even think he is that anymore.
I don't even know what he is anymore.
That's the wrong Billy Beane.
Yep, that is.
That's not the Billy Beane from the A's.
Correct.
Last 10 years, Billy worked passionately and tirelessly with MLB in all 30 clubs, focusing on player education. He played 10-year playing career with 6 teams.
Okay, that's enough, Mad Dog. You get the
Sorry,
point.
Mad Dog.
You get the point.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's understandable, but unfortunate as well.
Well, listen, I was on the plane yesterday and I saw some discourse going on online, as I usually see it. And I don't know if people do this to be edgelordy. I don't know if they do it for engagement. But I saw this tweet from Exploring Baseball History yesterday, and it's the second such tweet that I'd seen. I'd seen some comparisons to Tony Gwynn and Aaron Judge, and the numbers start flying out, and oh my God, and what about this, and the OPS against this. And listen, and I'm a fan of numbers. I believe in them, but we're talking about different eras. We're talking about different players. Sometimes it's just moronic to do. But this guy really went a step further. He said, I probably shouldn't wade into this, but... Well, there's your answer right there, dummy.
You just said it.
Yeah, he says, I think that Tony Gwynn holds a weird place in baseball history. He's probably the most overrated player that just about everyone agrees belongs in the Hall of Fame. So he's saying, I think what he's saying is Tony Gwynn, everybody believes he belongs in the Hall of Fame, but he's overrated. And I've seen this before, and it happens every year. Jeter, Tony Gwynn, there's a bunch of guys, and you look at it and you just go, for me, as much as I love baseball, I'm so tired of it. I'm so tired of the comparison. I really am. It is tired head for me immediately. But
you can't reason with these people.
There's no reasoning with them.
That's what's the Keanu
Yeah,
Reeves thing.
2 plus 2 is 5.
I'm at the point where if somebody's arguing with me, 2 plus 2 equals 5. You know what? You're right, man. Have a good day.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
Enjoy the rest of your day.
You're right. Yes, I am a moron. I know nothing. Correct. You got it. You nailed it. And it really sucks the energy out of you. But what I really enjoyed, this is like a do this as well, is our beloved Tony Gwynn Jr. He rarely wades into any of this, and it's gotta bug him when he sees stuff like that. And he had time yesterday, and he said, so you woke up and decided this was the way you wanted to start the day by trying to knock my pops? The discourse that was being had about my pops and Judge and whoever else must have really gotten under your skin that bad, huh? Hey, I guess everybody's entitled to their opinion. You're in the real small minority, though. Carry on. A Gwyn. I almost said a Gwyn. A Gwyn, which actually works.
It was a Gwyn.
Again, this is not a we're from San Diego or we're in San Diego and we love Tony Gwynn battle. This is if you don't realize what kind of impact player Tony Gwynn was, you, as Ted Leitner would say, sir, are a moron.
I think there is an argument to be made that had Tony Gwynn come around 25 years later, he might not have been viewed as good as a prospect, because he doesn't do the power things that you're looking for, and he might not have gotten the opportunity he got. I'm glad Tony Gwynn came around when he did. I promise you, if Tony Gwynn was around today, though, he'd be one of the best players in baseball.
No question.
He'd be a Hall of Famer, even today. He has a skill set and a talent that was even unmatched by the best players in baseball history. He is one of the best hitters who has ever lived. And if you're telling me that is overrated by being one of the best hitters who ever lived and also a Gold Glove outfielder, a smart base runner, especially early in his career, and everything that he did, I don't know how to help you. I really don't.
It's not. Don't take it from us. Don't take it from Padres fans. Don't even take it from Tony Gwynn Jr.
Right.
Take it from Greg Maddux.
Yep, John Smoltz, all the best of their generation saying,
all of those guys.
F that guy. F that guy. My favorite interview maybe we've ever done was Greg Maddux saying, I finally got smart and just started throwing him a first pitch fastball that I knew he would hit for a single, and I just hoped he wouldn't hit it for a double. And I'd stop.
Maybe I'd get lucky and he hit it at somebody.
And I would save 6 to 9 bullets, for the rest of the game and try to get the next guy out. So I would just throw him his fastball, let him get his hit, and, try to get a double play out of the next guy.
Now, we can table this discussion, but the comparisons between Luis Arraez and Tony Gwynn Jr. or Tony Gwynn are interesting because their numbers are very similar at this point in their careers. And I don't know, is Arraez heading toward the Hall of Fame or not in his career? But I would like to discuss that at some point, because I think it's relevant to this discussion as well.
As Jay says, I grew up in the Bay Area. Tony was my favorite player. I lived in Connecticut, Jay. Connecticut. And Tony Gwynn's poster hung on my wall when I was in 7th and 8th grade.
The one with the bats?
The bat
Yeah,
man.
the bats.
Oh.
And you're talking as far as you can get away from here. And all my homies love Tony Gwynn. Why? Because he mashed the baseball. Something we all wanted to do. That's what he did. He mashed the baseball. He hit it here, he hit it here, he hit it there, he hit it everywhere. And a truly transcendent hitter.
Finally, quick do this, but I know we got to go. We've got Adam Jones coming up. A really cool scene yesterday. You've seen players go visit children's hospitals before. It's great. They go sign autographs, bring gifts. Mitch Haniger did it a different way yesterday with the Mariners. He went to the Seattle Children's Hospital. They called it a reverse signing. And instead of having like players sitting at a table signing autographs, all the kids who were at Children's Hospital, they had the table and they were signing autographs to the players. It was one of the cutest scenes. We got it on our YouTube stream, but
unbelievable.
What a
Brought a
great!
tear to my
I don't
eye.
know if it was a PR person or Hanniger, whoever idea that was. That was genius and such a nice moment, and totally a do this. All right, that was Don't and Do This for a Wednesday.
That was Don't Do This with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
Adam Jones is slowly making his way closer to the West Coast. Going to be here next week. We're supposed to see AJ next week, but
He'll be here
he
in
will
like a couple days.
He will join us next as he continues his summer in America with the 5-time All-Star Adam Jones on a Big League Wednesday coming up when we return on 97.3 The Fan. Things going well for the San Diego Padres. They are hot, just in time for an upcoming visit from Adam Jones, the 5-time All-Star. Not here yet. We'll be here soon, but he's standing by and will join us right after this check of traffic on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Viejas Casino and Resort. A little busy on our roads, guys. Got a crash on southbound 805 past Sorrento Valley Road. Looks like a vehicle hit the center divide. Also traveling on eastbound 52 past the 125. Accident over the left shoulder. And westbound 52 before Mast Boulevard. Accident in the center divide. Cordell and Cordell traffic cam shows a collision on southbound 125 past Spring Street. Those vehicles are over to the right shoulder. The daily jackpots at Viejas Casino and Resort are on fire. Players have hit huge wins with bets as low as 50 cents. Check out their jackpot winning smiles on the Viejas Facebook page. Want to join them? Who knows? The next jackpot winner could be you, Viejas Casino and Resort. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3.
He'll be loving him some California very, very soon.
Yeah.
He's getting closer from what I understand. It is time to talk on a Big League Wednesday with the 5-time All-Star from San Diego and the Baltimore Orioles and various other locations. Adam Jones is back with us here on 97.3 The Fan. AJ, how's your summer going?
All is good right now. All is good. Just in Arizona right now. Very warm, but, the Pods are playing some good ball. It's just great at the right time. And, you win and the Dodgers lose. Hey, it's always a good morning.
It's crazy. I did not think we'd be sitting here scoreboard watching on August 7th. I knew we'd be watching to see what the Diamondbacks would do. Maybe the Mets would figure it out. But I did not think we'd be watching what the Dodgers were doing on August 7th. Now, I get it. They've been ravaged by injury. I certainly understand that. But holy smokes, AJ, this is a lot closer than Dodger fans probably want to admit.
It's part of the game. Injuries are part of the game. And that's, I've always said I don't never use that as an excuse because everybody's going to battle and go through certain things. So, it's part of it. But the Padres are doing what they're supposed to do. They're winning games they're supposed to win. They're closing out games they're supposed to close out. And last night I seen a young kid, I think it's Estrada.
Yeah.
He closed out the game. And and to me, look at this. He wasted 3 pitches, okay? Someone needs to talk to him. He threw 2 fastballs right by Keon Brian Hayes, who is a very good fastball hitter.
Yep.
Then he threw 3 non-competitive pitches, wasted his time, and then threw a 3-2 fastball right by him. Stop wasting your time. You do 3 pitches pointless. You throw them in the bullpen or throw them after the game if you feel like it. Blow the dude away, okay?
Well, he's clearly learned nothing from Robert Suarez, who just gets up there and chucks fastballs as fast as he can right by guys.
I'm just saying, it's like we're not that smart, okay? Everybody thinks that baseball it's gotten too nerdy or smart. When you're in between the lines, you're not that damn smart. What's working? Figure it out. Everybody on the outside, let them start to think they know what's going on and think that they're smarter. But inside those lines, we all know we ain't that damn smart. See ball, hit ball. If the dude is not hitting the fastball, why in the hell are you going to throw him something that's down, that's lower, that he can catch up to? It's like, just stick with what works. And I was watching that, and I seen three non-competitive pitches, and I'm like, I hope somebody tells him, like, bro, you got 98 at the top of the zone, 4-seam, just live there. You'll be all right.
He did end up striking out all 3 batters.
He did.
And he did have 13 straight strikeouts earlier this year.
And he's disgusting. I'm saying he's disgusting. I've watched him pitch. He's disgusting.
Yeah, it's a compliment.
And the fact, and we talked about...
When you slow the game down in September and in October, that's going to be a little bit different.
And we talked about it a little bit last week, right after the trade deadline, and the Padres' moves to fortify their bullpen. But the fact that you can even bring him in a 6-0 game. I mean, he used to be a guy you need to save for higher leverage, but now you have so many options in your bullpen right now if you're the Padres that Estrada's a guy, we'll protect that 6-0 lead with this guy in the 9th inning. It's got to be disheartening, I would imagine, to other teams knowing whoever is coming out of that bullpen is going to be so nasty.
Dude, that was the worst. It's like, you're like, okay, well, we're either beating them by a lot or they're beating us by a lot. All right, get us somebody in here that's just like 91, 92, with a little wrinkle in his, a little wrinkle he got. Nah, not these days. Everybody's coming in and they're just throwing, they're just hard throwers with sinkers, sliders. Sometimes they know where it's going. They don't know how to pitch in that well, so they're always hitting people. But it's definitely different. I'm telling you, we used to love that middle relief guy that just comes in and just like, you get the starter out and some guy that just needs to eat up 2 2/3, and you just shell him for another 5. But now, that guy coming in is disgusting. He's 96, 98 with they call it a sweeper now. It's still a curveball or a slider. I don't know who discovered sweeper. But, yeah, I mean, the pitching has gotten way better. I heard Bryce Harper in an interview just say, the pitching has just got tougher. You look at the batting averages and all that kind of stuff, and you can say, oh, well, guys aren't as good hitters as they were in the past, and they don't compete as much. They got 3 options, maybe the home run, walk, or strikeout. But the pitchers are very, very nasty, and the consistency of what comes in is nasty. When you have to face somebody 3 times, doesn't matter how hard he threw, I can make that adjustment the 3rd time. Now you're facing I don't even know if you face the same guy 3 times. You rarely. You know what I mean? So it's very tough to hit. It's very, very tough to hit in today's game. And I watch him like, damn, this dude coming in 98 sinker. Okay, 8-1 game. You think some little 92s coming in?
Yeah.
It's a lefty at 97. So I'm like you got more at home, who throws probably the easiest 99 I've ever seen.
Right.
I mean, jeez. Like, then you again, it's Suarez. So the Padres are in a good situation right now because they got a lot of velocity. And you know what? They've gained some experience over the last couple years. I think Maury Home can be big down the stretch against – it's going to be against – his biggest at-bats are going to be against Freeman and against Ohtani because he's now seasoned and prepared for those because he's faced these guys the last couple of years in these scenarios. So, it's going to be fun down the stretch because now the Padres have that experience. It's not – I don't think we can use the excuse of, some guys have never been there before. Some guys are this. I think it's like, hey, these guys have been around. They know what to do. The expectations are there, and they smell blood, and I love it. They smelled it in Baltimore, and they smelled it on that road trip, and you see what they're doing right now in Pittsburgh.
Talking to Adam Jones here on Ben and Woods this morning, and I'm sure we've asked you about rain delay for a player before, but it's a good time to bring it back after last night. You got a game. It's dicey. You're kind of looking at the weather forecast before you head to the ballpark going, man, this is probably going to be one of those days. But then you get the game started, and then the torrential downpour, the field won't drain. You're wet. You're back in the clubhouse. You're drying out. Like, what goes on back there? How frustrating is it? You're on the road. It's a long-ass trip. You're like, God, man. And then to come out and win 6-0, I thought was, a real good testament to the team. But as a former player, those games cannot be fun at all.
Oh, rain delays stink. It's like you either know it's going to rain, like if you like got all dressed and you're all ready, and like if it's a rain day, if you coming in and it's like 6:40 and they're like, hey, we're on a hold. All right, come on, man. I got this Bengay all over me. I'm just lubed all up. I'm ready to go. You know what I'm saying? There's no reversing this start right now, and it's
that doesn't wipe off. You can't wipe that stuff off and start over.
You can't wipe that stuff off. So you're sitting there, you're like, damn, okay, all right, well, figure it out. You figure it out. You relax. You take the stuff off. You try to get yourself in a relaxing state. You look on your phone and see the pattern, and you try and take a guess with them. They always tell you what's going on, but it sucks, especially on the road. Road clubhouses aren't as good as the homes, but hey, look, if your job calls for a rain delay, it calls for it. But the best thing is you go out there and you win. A lot of times the home team has that advantage, but the road team, they went out there and they scored 6. And I like what they're doing. It's top bottom of the order. It's everybody right now. It's starting to add value. And again, like I said, to me, Jackson Merrill, he might be the team MVP. In my opinion right now, just because of everything that he's doing to just be the glue of the team. I know it's a lot that it's not on his shoulders yet, very not on his shoulders, but he's taken himself into be a really, really good leader by play. And it's really good to see because as a center fielder, I like to see the center fielders take control of the whole team.
Talking to Adam Jones, he's with us. You're in Arizona. The Diamondbacks are not right now. They actually got rained out in Cleveland yesterday. Doubleheader scheduled today. But if there's any team that's playing as well as the Padres, it's the Diamondbacks right now. They are very hot. How do you compare them to last year's team that made this run to the World Series? Because they're looking kind of similar right now.
Yeah, I think they're a little bit better team because they made additions. Like last year, I think they snuck up on teams. And, this is still a good team right now playing well. Obviously, Marte is I think he's got put on the national stage last year, and that was perfect for him because he is a star. And you got to see, Corbin Carroll has not even gotten off yet. He's not having a good year yet. We've seen what he did last year in his rookie year. What if he, for the next 2 months, decides to slip on that switch? Gurriel had a good start. He's been slowing down. When he gets hot, they have a good pitching staff. They got a really, really good team. And again, they have that veterans where they've been there before, so they know how to pace themselves. And that's part of the season too, is pacing yourselves. You see the last couple of years, the Reds get off to a hot start. Pittsburgh gets off to a hot start. Baseball is like, oh man, we might have 2 new Cinderellas in baseball. Yeah, it's May 7th there, big fella. Hold your britches. And then, you realize you come back, they're in the normal places that they've always been. So it's a long season. I think that the Padres and Diamondbacks and the Orioles, I think are 3 franchises that have learned how to pace themselves throughout the long season and kick it in at the right time. And obviously, playing good ball the second half is the right time.
Well, before we let you go, man, I can't not mention what you're doing on Friday night, this coming Friday, a night for Mr. Padre. Tell us about what that event is going to be and how people can get tickets.
Well, it's about TG. Everything's about Tony Gwynn. The love and passion that we have for Tony Gwynn because, obviously he's my favorite player. He's my mentor. And it's just, a night to recognize it. We have a gala. We have incredible items from signed Super Bowls jerseys to signed Super Bowl footballs to cleats, jerseys, bats from all of your favorite players. But the most important thing, it's about highlighting Tony Gwynn because it's been 25 years since 3000, if you can believe that, 1999. And I remember exactly where I was at. I was at home watching it while he was getting a hit in Montreal. And, that was a moment that will always stick with me as a kid. And, it's just what TG has meant to the city of San Diego and outside of it, what he's meant to baseball. He's still talked about as one of the best hitters that ever played this game. And, even a better thing that having a guy like Luis Ariz even brings TG's name up even more in conversation. So I think that's even better. But we have a camp on the Saturday, the 10th, from 9 to 1 at San Diego State. I'll be there the whole time. I was trying to get out some golf in the afternoon, but they like, come on. So, I'll be I'll be there the whole time. But no, you can get tickets at TonyGwynnLegacyEast.org/events. And, it's about the community. We're going to have a lot of good people here. The gala's Friday night, and it's going to be just a fantastic event. And, I'm excited to be a part of it. Oakley's part of it. It's just a good team. Rand is obviously led by the daughter of Tony Gwynn, Anisha, and it's just a great event.
Yeah, it's great.
I think I've sent you guys the tickets.
We got it.
And all that stuff.
Yep. Yeah, Oxford Social
hopefully
downtown.
you guys can pass it out and blow it out. Yeah, so
we will do it. Paulie just put the link in our YouTube chat. We'll put it on our Twitter, and it's going to help. It's going to help community development in Southeast San Diego and underserved communities. It's great work that you're doing after your career. And, you still got plenty of time for golf, but those camps are important, too. My kid has been to about 10 camps this summer. AJ, he's gotten so much better, man, so much better.
That's awesome.
And
they are important.
It's been great. It's been great.
Yeah. Oxford Social Club. So Friday night, get your tickets. It's going to be lit.
And we will see you next week, right?
Yes. I'll see you next week.
Looking forward to it. All right,
get ready to take some of your money from you.
Adam Jones, the 5-time All-Star. I think we're gonna try to play some golf with him.
We are.
And if we're playing out at the ranch, do you think breaking 80 could be?
It could be in the car. He's done it. He did
He's
it
done
once.
it.
Yeah.
It's a place to do it again for sure.
It's the only place I've ever done it.
You've done it. Let's see if AJ can do it.
It's the only place I'll ever do it.
So that'll be fun to see him in person after he finally makes his way all the way to this side of the country.
That's right.
All right, we are 2 hours in already.
Oh, yeah. Got to tell you guys what happened.
I'm curious. I saw the tweet as you were coming home yesterday.
Yeah.
But I have no idea what the story is.
Well, I have a very curious 3-year-old.
Clothing optional.
As it turns out. Very curious 3-year-old. Tell you guys all about Taylor Camp coming up next.
All right, then we have Bret Boone still to join us on a Big League Wednesday. That's coming your way at around 8:35. A Reindl Report, and get you ready for another Padres game coming up. Hopefully No rain today. I hear there's still possibility in the forecast because it is Pittsburgh in the summer. But 3:40 all ahead today with Ben Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Oh, we are halfway home on a Wednesday, I do believe. Mahalo, everybody, or aloha, I
For the
should
rest
say.
of us, yes.
Yeah, Wednesday for you guys. I told Hannah this morning, I said, this is a nice short week for me this week. Short show tomorrow, right?
Correct. With the assuming no rain out, Padres have a 9:40 start, 8:40 pregame show tomorrow. So we'll be giving way to Sammy Levitt about 30 minutes from now in 24 hours.
Piece of cake.
As fun as it's been to have you back after today, I'll see you on Tuesday.
Yeah, Paulie's heading out on vacation as well.
The crew back together, and we had 2 more hours, and then Paulie's going on vacation for 3 shows.
We've got the Kluganator is going to be Bald Reindl, as it were, is going to be filling in the next couple of days. Our beloved brand manager Adam Klug. He is Swiss Army knife of the radio station, certainly. I'm Woodsy, also known as Kiwi in Hawaii, and we've got Paulo, Paulie, the executive producer, and we've got Penai. Ben.
Penny.
Penai.
I like Penny.
Penai.
Penai?
Yes,
I like Penny.
Penai. Multiple penis.
Those are our Hawaiian names.
So, it's good to be back. It's good to be back with you guys. I was thinking about it. We always say this anytime you travel anywhere. It does lessen the sting a little bit, leaving a place like Kauai and then flying into San Diego. We landed, the weather was perfect. Just beautiful. Driving into our neighborhood, getting into our home, sleeping on our own beds. It was great. But I imagine flying back to Akron, after being in Kauai. You're like, God, this really sucks.
Coming back to San Diego definitely lessens the sting
it lessens
of returning
the sting.
from vacation.
It eases you a little bit when you fly home. But I had to tell you guys about this because when we got settled into our house, which is like an Airbnb vacation rental, it's beyond stunning. There was a book on the coffee table. It was a coffee table book, and it was called Taylor Camp. Now, my 3-year-old is learning his letters, and he's starting to read, and he certainly recognizes his name when he sees it. So he was delighted.
This was something left for him personally, possibly.
It wasn't left for him personally. It just happened to be there.
But he might have thought that.
He was like, this is unbelievable. Book, Dada, Taylor. I said, absolutely. Let's crack it open and see what Taylor Camp's all about. Well, Ben, Taylor Camp was a small settlement established in the spring of 1969, the summer of love, on the island of Kauai. Covered an area of 7 acres, and now it began with 13 hippies seeking refuge from the
Kauai is still remote now, but back then it was truly the ends of the earth.
Truly, the jungle, really, as it were. It began with 13 hippies seeking refuge from the ongoing campus riots and police brutality in the United States. They were arrested for vagrancy, but Howard Taylor, brother of movie star Elizabeth Taylor, bailed them out of jail, invited them to settle on this beachfront property that he owned. So we start thumbing through Taylor Camp, the book. Well, Taylor Camp also happened to be a nudist colony.
Oh boy!
We are, at the beginning. It's here's their tree houses that they lived in. Oh, there's this guy's dong just chilling, and Taylor, my Taylor, starts cackling, and he starts laughing like you wouldn't believe. Dada, look, and then look, he's pointing at pictures. If you're in the chat, it does a little bit better. There's naked women in there, and he is having the time of his life. And this is like the first day we're there. Let's just say that I caught him thumbing through the Taylor Camp book on more than one occasion the whole time he was there.
You're going to have to hide it at some point from him.
I really didn't think to hide it. I didn't want to mess with it, but he had a field
So first
day.
you had the birds and the bees.
The book that he brought.
From the lending library in your neighborhood. And now you've got Taylor Camp.
Dude, there's all sorts of nudity. All sorts of nudity.
I mean, you may be sending Taylor down
I didn't send him down.
Path
I didn't send him down anything. Every kid is curious, and he is very, very curious. Let's put it that way. And we really, really had a fun time. And Hannah and Susie actually went up to the area where Taylor Camp was. And they ended up, once people got kind of tired of that nudist colony being there, well, they did what they do on Kauai. They burned it down. So
you were telling us about this.
I'm not joking when I say this. And my father-in-law has been going there since like forever. And we would pass these things on the street, and I would go, "What's that?" With all like the kind of construction wrapping around. I go, "What is that?" He goes, "Oh, that was a hotel some people tried to build, and the natives burned it down." And I said, "What's that over there?" "Oh, that's another place that they burned down." When they don't like something there, they just burn it down. I mean, really, like imagine your neighborhood where you live now, and somebody puts up an adult video store. Now, instead of picketing
we
or
have
writing,
we have like zoning
there's
regulations
zoning.
and stuff here, but they just go.
Imagine if
go ahead, build it. If we don't like it, we'll just torch it.
Yeah, you live in Encinitas, and they put up an adult bookstore down on the corner. Now, you could be upset about it, and you could write your congressman and your mayor and whatever. Not there. No, they just go, "Hey, let's torch this place and be done with it." They've done it. They've done it a bunch. I mean, there's a bunch of things around there. They're like, "Oh, we don't like this development, so we're gonna burn it down." And so they just go torch it.
One way to do it.
It's one way to do it. There's one way to do it.
Jeffrey in the chat had a question about your Taylor Camp book. He wants to know how many peni were in this book.
There was a lot of peni, more than I really would have liked to see. Now, again, remember too. You're talking about 1969 peni, and that is a totally different look than.
Well, technically, it's the same.
It's not, though. There's grooming. There's not a lot of.
Sure,
They didn't have the manscaper.
But we haven't evolved as a species. I mean, man in 1969 would look exactly like man in 2024 without.
Maybe you. It would look
make
different
the choices.
than me.
It's just the choices you make.
Let's put it this way. If I posed in the treehouse as this man posed in the treehouse, it would look different than how this guy looked. You may look the same. That's a matter of personal preference. But I would look different than this guy looked. But yeah,
I just looked it up on Amazon. Taylor Camp book.
Yeah.
You can get a hardcover edition for $125.
Yeah, $125.
And there is a topless woman on the cover.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. And Dill on Twitter just
see
says...
that, Ben? See what does that do for you?
This is actually incredible. Dill on Twitter says, LMAO, my aunt was a part of Taylor Camp. And
What?
And is in that book. Dill, I've seen your aunt nude. And you might have as well. What a small world it truly is. Now, I was worried he might try to sneak that book into, it's a big coffee table book. It's big. You can
Carry
see the
on
picture.
luggage.
Carry on. He's carrying it under his arm. But I got to make,
you need to leave that for the next guests of the Airbnb to enjoy.
Correct. I need to get a shirt made for him, a Taylor Camp shirt, because we laughed so hard. And I would look over, and there he is, thumbing through there. I'm like, bro, I don't know, one way to do it, but it was one of the highlights of the trip for sure.
That is, but so there was no actual nudist camps there. You didn't go to any clothing optional beaches or anything, because when you tweeted it, I was going, where are they taking Taylor?
No,
in
I didn't.
Kauai, that it's clothing optional.
I was. There's outdoor showers everywhere, like in our house, and so we would go to the beach and then come home, and everyone would just go get in the outdoor shower. But yeah, you're nude a lot there. You feel very comfortable and free being nude, walking around in Kauai.
Well, you guys do that at your own house.
Yeah, we kind of do. We're kind
of
like nudists a little bit, at least in the comfort of our own home. But yeah, it was a little odd. It was a little odd, that book, and an interesting choice, certainly.
No, I'm glad you're back.
It's great to be back.
It's good to have you.
Mm-hmm.
We missed you, but I must say, things went pretty well while you were gone. Padres did their part of the equation.
That's what I was most nervous about.
Paulie, we never had to talk really about a loss. They had the one loss while you were gone was the Friday game, which was the start of our weekend.
So we blazed right over that.
We touched on it briefly on Monday, but because they ended up winning Saturday and Sunday, it just felt like a one-off, Rockies had a few balls fall in, whatever. Move on from that one. But really, it's been such a nice string. Now, we usually give you a chance to like bring something up from while you were gone. Like you said, you watched the games. Is there anything in particular that caught your eye or attention while you were on vacation that you wanted to bring up?
It's got to be Mike Schilt just out-managing Dave Roberts and watching Dave Roberts just completely.
That was the first game you missed.
Yeah,
that was Tuesday
that was last
night.
Tuesday.
I mean,
were you able to follow that? Like,
I
that was,
watched it.
Okay,
I watched it. So that was the day we traveled.
Yeah.
So I called you guys
You did call us the next day,
and I think I might have brought it up.
Yeah.
I think I did bring it up. But that to me was my favorite moment when I was gone. Watching the like, is this your first game managing?
It was unbelievable.
Is your first day? That was brilliant. The other thing, did you guys talk about some of the teams that decided to do nothing at the trade deadline, like the Angels and like the Rockies?
I had a whole segment where I lit up the Rockies for like, are you even paying attention? What do you understand?
What do you do here?
How
we were
this
very
works?
confused with the Giants. Like, so are you
Half
buying or
selling, but you're
selling?
keeping Blake Snell.
Right.
And what,
He goes and throws a no-no.
No,
on Friday.
that's right. The Blake Snell no happened when I was gone. Yeah, that's kind of the thing I wanted to bring up was like, if you're a Rockies fan or you're an Angels fan, you had all of these pieces that certainly people called about, and you did nothing.
Quantrill.
Dude, it's malpractice.
Yeah.
Perry Manasian, malpractice. Now, again, I think with Perry, nobody really knows how much authority he has. If it's Artie Moreno, I don't want to trade this guy. I don't want to trade this. They traded one person. They traded Estevez, I think, maybe. But they had so many other movable pieces that they didn't get anything back for, and they're on expiring contracts. Like that's
Tyler Anderson didn't go anywhere.
Yeah,
right?
it's a weird thing that they did. So that was. But my favorite moment when I was gone was the very flummoxed Dave Roberts. Just got outmanaged.
I talked to Mike Schilt about that on Friday, and I think he didn't want to take credit for it, but I think he appreciated that it was noticed by the fan base.
Oh yeah, man!
How well that was executed by his team.
I can't remember. You called in that next morning, and it was like as you were hanging up, you just were like very tongue in cheek. I think you said something like, "Yeah, I'm just going to give Dave the benefit of the doubt."
Yeah.
Hadn't been around the game very long.
Right. Yeah, first couple games. So yeah, that was such an awful look.
We kept played the audio the next morning. He was asked about it, and he basically said, "I didn't know the rule."
Just what every general manager, owner, fan wants to hear from a team that spent $1 billion to get better in the offseason, now 4 games ahead of the San Diego Padres, breathing down their neck. Pretty nuts. So that was special. I was, again, my favorite thing was how well the guys played when I was gone. Because
that first game was one of the most electric games I've ever seen.
Yeah, it was incredible.
Unbelievable.
It really was incredible.
To cough up 5 in the first.
Yep.
And then shut them out the rest of the way, fight and claw. Manny had like 2 or 3 web gems from third, and then the bomb
going into the dugouts.
Yep, he had the bomb to lead off the 9th.
Incredible.
And you're still like, oh, we're still down 1, and then Jackson Merrill just rises to the occasion as he has time and time again. Unbelievable.
It was incredible. It was an incredible win, and very, very proud of those fellas as well as they're playing right now. And Michael King's on the bump tonight. Go out and you win this series tonight. You win the series tonight against Pittsburgh. Michael King's been great. Keep being great. And we'll see what happens.
And usually the pressure has been kept on by some of the other wild card contenders, but it was a good night last night. I want to go through some of the other action that happened in Major League Baseball because there were a couple of significant developments in MLB last night. We can get into that coming up next, and then Bret Boone is going to join us at the bottom of the hour as we continue our Big League Wednesday. Don't miss a minute of it. Stay tuned. More Ben and Woods coming up after a check of Kelly's traffic on 97.3 The Fan. So for the first time all season, just in time for Woods' return, Padres are alone atop the wild card standings. Number one spot after the results yesterday. The Padres win, of course, but the Atlanta Braves were shut out by the Milwaukee Brewers 10-0. They continue to slide. Colin Ray went 7 shutout innings. He's 10-3.
Good
Just another
Lord.
of those old
Padre
Padres
great.
out there. The Diamondbacks got rained out, so they'll play a doubleheader today, but they, fell a half game behind the Padres because of that. And then the Dodgers also lost 6-2. Mentioned that earlier, so the Padres just 4 games back in the National League West. Cardinals did win 4-3 behind Sonny Gray over the Rays, but the Mets lost too. The Rockies helping everybody out with a 6-3 win over the Mets. So there's now 2.5 games of separation, which isn't a ton, but from the Padres to the first non-playoff spot, which is the New York Mets.
Yeah.
Not any chance to get comfortable or like, okay, we can cruise.
No.
But pretty much this entire time, even when the Padres have been holding on to a playoff spot, they've always been like one day from, you lose and everybody wins, you're out again. All right. The tiniest bit of breathing room right now. Not time to obviously take your foot off the accelerator, but you keep winning and good things happen in the standings. But there were a couple of other interesting results yesterday in Major League Baseball. How about this one? White Sox 5, A's 1. The first win for the White Sox since July 10th. 21-game losing streak, tying the American League record, is over. They got the win yesterday. Held on.
You're so pissed if you're the A's. You're like, no, why us? Why did it have to be
they are
us?
the second worst team in baseball.
True.
They're 20 games in front of the White Sox, who are the worst team in the American League. If they're ever going to beat someone, you'd think the A's would be a good candidate for it.
We talked about it, I think, yesterday. It's over. They won, so it doesn't matter now. But, when you're at 21 and the record was, 23? We were talking, if you're a White Sox fan.
Yeah, you want it.
At that point,
you want it.
at a certain point in those 21 games,
you
you're kind of just rooting for
you
it.
want, if you're going to be the poster children
in the
for
moment
futility.
you want it, but do you want to always, in 10 years when a team loses 17 in a row, then, remember the longest streak, it belongs to those 2024 Chicago White Sox.
You want to feel the pain.
You don't want to have it.
You do.
I'm with you.
You
don't want to have it brought up over and over again for decades,
I want to feel
possibly,
the
that
pain.
you have the record.
When I used to get broken up with, I would listen to the saddest music. I would not listen to Bobby McFerrin when I would have a heartbreak. I wouldn't be listening to Bob Marley and don't worry. I would listen to The Cure and sad music. I wanted to feel it, every bit of it. And that's how I would absolutely want the record. And it's something that the fans can absolutely throw in Reinsdorf's face and Pedro Grifol, you led the worst team in baseball history. They also had a 15-game losing streak as well. Imagine a 21-gamer and a 15-gamer in the same season. Speaking of not being able to rest, Ben, this is the tweet that Sammy Levitt sent a couple days ago that has had me thinking nonstop, and it was a really well-worded tweet. And he says, the Padres have 49 games remaining. This is a couple days ago. They play 6 against Pittsburgh, 4 against New York, 3 games against St. Louis, 6 against San Francisco, and 3 games against Arizona. 50% of their remaining games are against teams in this photo, and of course, it's a photo of the NL wildcard standings. Holy crap! I know it's tense. I didn't really, till that tweet came out, I didn't really realize how tense it's going to be. It's going to be tense. It's going to be live and die with this team, as it would be for a lot of us anyway. But holy smokes, man, these games are huge.
Yeah, starting with this series, mentioned it yesterday, that this is the last kind of shot for the Pirates to get back in it. They probably were thinking sweep. Hey, if we sweep, we are still in this thing. Well, now they've already lost the first game. They lose either of the next 2, they're 500. They lose both of them, they're 2 games under 500. They're done. They're cooked. They're toast. So, but you're going to face other teams like that. And I think Sammy corrected. There's actually 4 games against the Cardinals. But, the Mets have already swept you, so they've kind of got that advantage there. I'm sure the Mets are looking at, hey, we can catch, all we have to do is tie the Padres. We'll have the tiebreaker on them if we take care of business against them. There's a lot of teams looking at the Padres as an opportunity to make up ground now. Hey, we've got head-to-head matchups against the teams ahead of us.
Sure.
That's what you want.
That's what you want.
When you're 3 or 4 games back in a wild card race. The Giants are thinking it. The Mets are thinking it. The Cardinals are thinking it. They all have an opportunity and have the Padres circled on their schedule the rest of this season. So
yeah, not because they're rollover games, but because it's head-to-head. And yeah, I mean, the Padres are doing the same thing. I mean, if you're Mike Shilton, you're the leadership of the team, you absolutely want to have those games against those teams because you control your own destiny.
Now, you also have 6 left against the Marlins and the White Sox, which
Right.
makes you nervous. The 2 teams that sold off, that should have nothing left, you feel like you go 5-1 and you're kind of giving up a game almost. Like, 5-1's great, but
it's great.
It almost is not enough. Like, you go 4-2, that's a failure.
Yeah.
In those 6 games. You go 3-3, that's an epic failure. So those are kind of pressure-packed games as well, starting this weekend.
I'm going to prank call
in Miami.
Skip every night. I'm going to try to keep him up all night, just texting him and sending him pizza and stuff to his house. We have his address, I think. Yeah.
Couple of other results from last night. Did you see the home run that C.J. Abrams hit?
Pitch at his eyes.
My goodness, 96 or 7, like at his eyes, and he somehow turned around on it, like outside corner 97 at the face, and he hits a home run on that ball. And then James Wood hit a long one as well. But guess what? They beat the Giants, so fine. I don't care. That actually helps everybody in the wild card race. And Framber Valdez had a no-hitter, 2 outs in the 9th inning. Would have been his second no-hitter in the last 2 seasons. Threw one last year as well. With 2 outs in the 9th, the Rangers' Corey Seager hit a home run, a 2-run homer actually, with a guy on base to break up the no-no on the last possible moment. But the Astros did beat the Rangers 4-2 in that game.
I have not even followed the American League really at all much lately. I have no idea what's going on in the races over there.
So the Yankees just caught the Orioles.
Yep.
They're back half a game ahead after their long slump. They've kind of started playing better again, and the Orioles have started slumping. The Mariners and the Astros remain kind of neck and neck, just barely above 500. Neither of them are in the kind of wild card picture at the moment. They're both like a few games out, I think 4 games out, so they're kind of playing for the division. And then the wild card race, it's the Orioles. They got a 4.5 game lead. And then it's the Twins, Royals, and Red Sox essentially competing for those last 2 spots right now, with the Twins and Royals currently holding it, and the Red Sox half a game behind Kansas City now in that race.
Kansas City, man. Seth Lugo has been such a good pickup for them.
One guy who does follow it all is our good friend Bret Boone with his Odyssey podcast and has been joining us pretty much every week. It's awesome to have him. In a Big League Wednesday, Bret Boone will be with us to talk about the baseball pennant races and more. Coming up next with Ben Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. About to find out who has the better Hawaiian tan between
It's him.
Stephen Woods or our next guest, Bret Boone, who was in Hawaii when we talked to him last week. Of course, it's a trick question. The correct answer is always me. I've always got the better tan than either of you, right? Don't you think?
You're just tan.
I'm just tan. I've just got
I
the
bet Boone
natural
can get a
tan.
good tan.
Yeah, Booney looks like he's Booney's owned a tanning bed. I guarantee you. Let's ask him.
We'll find out.
100%.
Oh, that's a good question. Well, I mean, Brian Giles probably let him use his at some point, for sure. Now, while you were gone, we also gave Bret Boone his own walk-up music. So you'll hear that right after Traffic on 97.3
It was literally his walk-up
Yeah, it was.
music.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by SDG&E. Unfortunate situation on westbound 905 at the North 5 connector. That ramp is closed, all due to a fatal accident that happened around 6:30 this morning, guys. So, yeah, you want to avoid that and be prepared to be diverted off westbound 905 at the northbound 5. Still clearing an accident southbound 125 past Spring Street. It's over the right shoulder. Also traveling south 805 past Sorrento Valley Road. Collision in the center divide. In peak wildfire season, as a last resort, SDG&E may need to shut off power in specific areas for public safety. Learn more about public safety power shutoffs at sdge.com/PSPS. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Love it. Crazy Town, Butterfly. Fantastic.
Didn't take long for Woods to identify
Rest in peace, Shifty.
Bret Boone's walk-up music. And joining us right now, Odyssey MLB insider Bret Boone. Insider Calls presented by Grainger with supplies and solutions for every industry. Grainger has the right product for you. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Bret, also the host of the Bret Boone podcast, featuring the most notable names in MLB and around sports every week. You made it back safely from the islands, Bret?
I did. I appreciate the music again, Ben. Looking out for it. Woods, if that was, you really knew who that was right now?
I mean,
we didn't tell him. Yeah,
I met Shifty.
We talked about it a couple weeks ago when the lead singer passed away.
I met Shifty before. That song was on one of my adult league teams. When we needed a rally, we threw that on, and it worked every single time. Every single time. So it was very special place in my heart. I had no idea that was your walk-up.
Oh, yeah, it's great.
That's
no lyrics. Didn't know what the lyrics were. Didn't know anything. It's just as the young people, it was just the vibe.
The vibe that it gave you. Now, I had a question. So Ben said, who has the better Hawaiian tan? I burn on my legs and I tan on my arms and face. This is the first color my legs have gotten in years. But I said, I bet Bret Boone has a really nice tan. Have you owned a tanning bed in your life?
I have not. I'll tell you what I do. Here's the secret.
All right, give it to me.
You go to Hawaii, you head to toe, sunblock, whatever you need to do. I always, I'll be out by the pool. I'll be under an umbrella. Then I come home and I go get a spray tan. And it's perfect.
Spray tan in a can.
Preserving the skin, have the excuse to look like you've been in Jamaica for months. It's great.
I've never done a spray tan.
What did you know about Brian Giles' tanning habits?
Brian was always tan, and he had a tanning booth at his house.
Yeah, that's incredible.
So you didn't buy if you didn't buy a tanning bed, I want to know what's the stupidest thing you did buy?
Yeah, what was your Kenny Powers purchase? Like the tanning bed, the jet ski. What was your dumb thing you bought?
Dumbest thing I bought. I bought a lot of dumb things.
I would have too,
dude. Big league money.
I would have too.
You can go. That was probably not the best purchase, but whatever.
No. I was in Vegas once, and I came home and I won some money, and I just went to the car dealer. I called this. I always wanted a big truck.
Yeah.
And this is nothing against big truck guys, because there's a time and a place for it. But you can't park them. They're tough to steer.
100%.
I just make a call. I said, hey, I want to buy this truck. I said, all right. I got it all. The dualies,
like the big wheels and stuff too.
The dually. Oh my God!
About it, They give me this truck and they said, "All right, here it is." And I said, "All right, here." And I handed them the money and they said, "What are you doing?" I said, "Well, I said I was going to pay in cash. I wasn't going to finance it." They said, "Yeah, but we didn't think it was actually cash." I said, "Yes, here."
No, real cash.
Oh, you want big money?
You want big money in Vegas.
Now I got this big truck sitting in it doesn't fit in the garage. I mean, it's big. I had it low. I had it jacked up, big tires.
Yeah.
And I drove, and I actually liked driving it, but I drove it for a little bit, and it didn't fit anywhere. And I ended up selling it to a guy that loved it. He got a hell of a deal.
Yeah,
so,
he probably took it to a
that
ranch.
was that great of a story,
he
but
took
yeah,
it to a ranch
one of the dumb
somewhere.
things I find.
Yeah, he took it to a ranch somewhere where he could actually
where it belongs.
Put it to use. You know,
right. I needed to. You know what I was doing? I was laundering money. I needed to get.
You're supposed to make money, not lose money when you do that, Brett.
That is phenomenal.
That's true.
Oh, dude, that's so good, man. No, we had a great time out there. What island were you on?
We were in Kona.
Okay, yeah, we were on Kauai, and it was
far as possible.
Yeah, it was awesome, man. I'm happy to be back because I missed all of you guys, yourself included. But talk about those days last forever out there. I mean, you wake up and you're like, oh my god,
they really do.
They really do.
Well, ask Paulie. He woke me up at 3:30 to come on the show.
Oh boy, I've already committed to broadcasting.
That bad. But I had some shows at 5 in the morning, and I'm sitting out in the porch and it's dark. And my wife later is like, "Are you serious?" I said, "Well, what do you want me to do? You want me to wake you up?" She goes, "I can hear you. Everybody can hear you." I don't get it.
Island.
We had him on. It was 5:30 Hawaii time last week. We
Yeah.
had him on, and he was talking like this.
Hey, good morning.
He was out on the patio and trying not to wake anybody up.
Oh, I love it. I know. I've already committed to broadcasting live out there next year because we are absolutely going back, but I'll take the equipment, get up at 3 a.m. and come do the show with the fellas. But so you do hits for other radio stations too, like our pal Softy up in Seattle, who's one of our favorite guests and, huge M's guy. And you got, go ahead.
Just tell me about that. He said to say hi. I just played in his golf tournament on Monday.
He's the best, man. We love
Actually,
Softy.
Softy took me to the airport. I said, "Softy, I got to go. I need a ride." He said, "Let's go." So, I've known Softy since I was a kid. I mean, I remember him way back in the day when he was big Softy. Now he's then he went to skinny Softy. Now he's kind of middle of the road Softy.
Middle Softy. Yeah, that's what I consider myself. More of a middle Softy at this point in my life. Boone, you're talking to Bret Boone here on Ben and Woods this morning. So I'm sure he's asking you kind of the same stuff we are. I mean, the teams are, both kind of fighting for a spot in the playoffs. And, the Mariners, they made some moves. They've gotten some pieces. They look pretty good. Padres are playing. They're one of the hottest teams in baseball, if not the hottest team in baseball since like June 19th or something I saw. But the M's, are they going to have enough to kind of push through in a pretty tough AL?
Well, I look at the Mariners, and they're, man, that pitching staff they've got is so good, 1 through 5. And that offense all year has been so not even mediocre. I mean, it's been the bottom of the league. And we've been talking about it. What needs to happen to secure a place for Seattle? And I think you just have to play middle of the pack, play decent baseball offensively. I think there are additions. I think Rosarina and Justin Turner are going to be not only from a physical standpoint. I think their presence in that clubhouse is a big deal. Crawford and Julio have been on the IL for a while, and they're coming back here soon. Obviously, Julio being the star of that team, but hasn't had an all-star type season. But I think a guy like a Rosarina, who you watch him, you've been watching him for years. He's got a pretty big personality.
He does.
But the young Julio Rodriguez does too, and I think in a way it'll almost be a challenge to Julio. From a entertainment value, I think that might be a good thing for him. And then there's Justin Turner, who I was just up in Seattle, and I had some events up there. I had a dinner with Justin Turner, and it was the first time I met him. And I just sat and talked to him for a while. And he's kind of that. He's the last of my era type guys. The way he talks. I felt like I was talking to a guy that I played with. The verbiage coming out of his mouth. Really great guy. Obviously well respected around baseball. He's 39 years old. He's kind of he's kind of that guy in the room that sits at the end of the clubhouse and everybody comes to him for wisdom, I think. Like a J.D. Martinez type. So I think he's going to be really good. And I think the sneaky move that Seattle made is they got Garcia from the Toronto Blue Jays, which really fills a hole in their bullpen because of the Matt Brash thing. Matt Brash is a young star.
Oh, yeah.
Bullpen guy.
Don't we know it?
High leverage. Yeah, high leverage guy that he got Tommy John, so he's missing the season. So getting Garcia was big. But 1 through 5 in that starting rotation for the Seattle Mariners, I think it's unmatched in all of baseball. I think they're interchangeable number ones. I think Castillo is called their number one at the top. He could be the number 5 easily. This Brian Wu kid, when he stays healthy, is unbelievable. Miller's very good. Kirby, Gilbert was the all-star. So I think they're the only one that have 5 interchangeable number ones. But, they got to play a little bit better. They lost yesterday. That American League West is going to be a battle. And I'm waiting for Texas. I look at Texas, I go, they got Evaldi, Scherzer's back. You got a Gray type of Haney. DeGrom sitting there in the wings. When's he going to come back? Does he come back? There's a lot of ifs for Texas, but I'm thinking a healthy DeGrom throwing the way, where DeGrom throws when he's healthy, followed up by an Evaldi and a Scherzer. Could they make it interesting? But the longer we go, it doesn't look like they're really going to. You never know. And then Houston. You never know. Houston, they've been the juggernaut, the top of that division for a while. So I think that West race is going to be one of the most intriguing down the stretch.
Yeah, it just feels like the Rangers may be running out of time. They're 8.5 out,
That's a Boch team. They won last year, they'll win next year. But this year, they'll take the year off.
Take the year off. Exactly. Well, Benny, I'm sure you want to ask him about our beloved Padres.
Yeah, I wanted to turn our attention to the Padres, Brett. And, they've got this big stretch now coming, like one off day now in the next month. Joe Musgrove supposed to be coming back this weekend. So the planning is, now how do they do that? Are they going to go to a 6-man rotation? Do you take one of the guys like Randy Vasquez or the newcomer Martin Perez out of the rotation to put in Joe? You want to save some innings, obviously, for Michael King going forward. Kind of what would be your thinking on the strategy of what the Padres should do pitching-wise going forward here?
And, Brett, is there a downside to a 6-man rotation in your opinion?
Yeah, that's a good question.
I think with the guys you got, Dylan Cease, King, the way, and King was an interesting one for me. Waldron's done a great job for him.
Yep.
King was interesting to me because early in the season he had a couple rough outings, and he would dominate because he's in the bullpen. And it was kind of not that he hasn't started before, but he hasn't been an everyday starter. Like he knows he's coming to the ballpark, I'm going to get 35 starts this year. He's never been that guy until now. So I think it was a little bit of an adjustment period for him. I think this King guy going forward is going to be really good. But I think for this Padres team to really go deep, and you got to have a Musgrove. You got to have a Musgrove that they're used to having a horse at the top of that rotation. So I think let's get him back, see how he's pitching, and everything else will just kind of fall into line. Obviously at the trading deadline, I was interested with the Padres. By the way, I think the Padres did a great job. I think we covered it last week. By bolstering that bullpen, now arguably the best bullpen to go in the National League, in baseball in general, and just getting the Scott and Adam, putting him in front of Suarez, who is one of my favorite guys. Suarez, he's just been so good and one of the great closers of the game. I just think that let Musgrove go. Let's see how he is. Is he Musgrove? Is he close to what we're used to seeing, that horse at the top of the rotation? If he is, everything else will just fall in line. Offense is doing great. It looks, what it looks like? I was watching the game last night. There's a cohesiveness. These guys are actually having fun.
They are.
And, it sounds kind of corny for me to say that because, it's not cool to say that. But there's a lot to it because for a lot of years, I didn't believe in that, in coming to the ballpark. I was a business guy. I came to the ballpark, I'm swinging hard, and all this the camaraderie, this and that. I thought it was a bunch of nonsense. Give me the best talent. Let's go crush people. But as I got a little bit older and a little more experience, I found that the teams I played on that really had that cohesiveness that really got in the foxhole with each other at 7:00 every night. Man, you had a lot better chance and you had a lot more success, and you could actually genuinely smile and enjoy what you're doing. And when you do that, you kind of forget all the pressure and the scoreboard. It kind of goes away, and you just kind of have that, and it's not really words. It's a look, it's a wink, it's a nod. Hey, we got this, and we don't have to worry about it. A little bit of that going on with this team. I think they really genuinely like each other, genuinely like playing together. Man, that's a big feather to have in your cap going into the postseason.
One more thing, Brett. I don't think I've ever asked you this, but as an infielder, What do you think of Ha-Seong Kim? I mean, we've had him for 4 years. His metrics look always really good because he draws walks. His defensive stats look good. Sometimes the eye test is not as good. He goes in slumps. He makes some base running errors. Just from what you've seen, how do you evaluate his career so far?
I think he's overachieved. I think he's done more than people expected. I think he's a really good player.
Okay.
I think he steals bases. I think he's got that ability to play anywhere on the field. I mean, Kim, you could probably put him in center field and be a Gold Glove center fielder. He's obviously playing short second. He's done that quite a bit in his career. I don't know. Going forward with this Padres team, I'd like to see, because we always talk about and kind of laugh about how many shortstops are on this team, and it's interesting how none of them get to play short except for Kim. So I think this offseason you've got a lot. You've got a Cronenworth, you've got a Kim, you've got a Bogarts. Who if you ever traded, it'd be a tough trade.
Tatis, Merrill, there's a lot of shortstops.
So many. You got right. Merrill's running around in center field. You got so many shortstops that I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what happens this offseason. I just love when Cronenworth gets to play second base. I think that's where his value is. I think that's where he thinks his value is. And I think when guys are in positions that they're comfortable in, they tend to play better.
Interesting. All right, we're out of time. I want to follow up on the second baseman and how Xander's been doing with you maybe next week, Brett, but always appreciate it. Welcome back from the what was he? I was going to just say welcome back from the islands and thanks for joining us, but I thought he had something else to throw in there.
Oh, he said you got it.
Oh, thanks, Brett. I appreciate it. I just didn't hear what he said. So
he's very tired. He's had to cover for me.
Yeah, I did. All right, Bret Boone.
Thanks, buddy.
And, of course, Insider Calls, Odyssey Insider Calls, presented by Grainger with supplies and solutions for every industry. Grainger has the right product for you. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. No, I thought maybe you wanted to jump in with a quick comment on Xander and how he's transitioned to second base.
You got it.
I think he said you got it.
But we'll talk about that probably in the future. But he likes Ha-Seong Kim.
Be interested to see what the lineup looks like today, if this injury is going to keep him out for more than one day and what that looks like.
It's weird that, I mean, he did have a dive on Sunday, and he came up, but he always kind of looks injured when he dives, and it could have been from that. It could have been nothing. It could have been from sleeping funny on it. Have no idea whether that's going to linger. But, Tyler Wade went and did a nice job last night.
Very nice
shortstop.
job.
You don't expect him to be your starting shortstop on a team like this with so many shortstops.
Tyler
Wade is the one who's out there starting. Seems wrong, but certainly did a nice job last night. Made the plays he needed to make and contributed with a couple of hits.
It's what we've been talking about, man. The dream of being able to plug guys in different spots and they're actually playing and performing. And think about how many guys are playing, quote unquote, out of position this year. It's a lot.
All right, Reindl Report is coming up next, kicking off our 9 o'clock hour. Have you ever heard of a cotton candy burrito before?
This infuriated me.
It's coming up next on 97.3 The Fan. All right, thanks again to Bret Boone, who joined us this hour on Ben and Woods, brought to you by Robert Half. Padres play again. We do know the matchup for today, at least. Michael King, who Bret Boone is very high on, takes the mound. He has been fantastic. Now, he's only pitched like once in the last 20 days or so. I mean,
Is that right?
Well,
He
pitched right before the All-Star break.
Right.
And like 3 days before. Then they had the break, and then they didn't pitch him again until after the All-Star break, like the fourth day. And then he had the comeback, right? That was that start. And now he hasn't pitched since that start, which is 10 days ago again, which means he's had a nice kind of refresher here in the middle of the season.
He had a nice little Hawaiian vacation.
Which they needed to get him, kind of like they did with Seth Lugo unintentionally last year, when Lugo had his little calf strain or whatever it was that kept him out earlier in the year. It was like in May, and kept his innings from getting too high.
The calf was against Baltimore, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was July 27th.
Okay. It was that was his last start, right?
Yeah.
He had one, so that was his second start since the All-Star break.
Yeah.
So this will be his...
The 21st and the 27th.
So this will be his third start in like 25 days or so coming up now. So, all right, well... They've found a way to kind of limit his innings, maybe not the way they intended. No one wants to take an intentional line drive to the calf, but hopefully he hasn't lost whatever rhythm he was in, because he was in a really, really good rhythm. Even in that day, Michael King has pitched extremely well for the last, I'd say, well, you have his game log up there, like 2 months?
Here's recent games. Yeah. His loss was a 2-0 loss to the Mariners. Lost to the Brewers in late June. Phillies lost, he did not have he gave up 1 earned run. 5 earned runs against Milwaukee. He's been fantastic.
Yeah.
2, 1, 1, 1, 1 in his last 5-6 starts. Pretty nuts.
And then Marco Gonzalez will pitch for the Pirates today. He's a lefty.
Yep.
Has not as much experience as Bailey Falter, I don't think, but Bailey Falter was actually looking pretty good in those first 2 innings. I know we're all mad about Dylan Cease having to come out. It's possible that worked out well for the Padres.
Yeah, potentially.
Maybe, it might be another Austin Gomber situation there against Bailey Falter. And
why we didn't trade for him at the break and just, you can't throw him against yourself. Just trade for him and put him somewhere, and so you don't have to face him ever again. I mean, how many more do we have against the Rockies?
3 more.
3 more.
Yeah.
We'll get him one more time. You got to figure out a way to beat Austin Gomber, of all people. Just owns the San Diego Padres.
So that's the matchup. 3:40 today, hopefully, weather permitting. I haven't seen the recent forecast. I know there were scattered showers the last time I checked. 2:40 Eco Water SoCal pregame show for Sam Levitt, who had a very long day yesterday.
Poor Sammy, man.
He gets here
every freaking East Coast road trip for the
Shout
Padres.
out.
He gets here a couple hours before the game, so he was here, around lunchtime.
Yep.
And then pregame 2:40 to 3:40, 17 minutes of the game, and then right into rain delay theater for 2 hours and 40 minutes. That game had more rain delay than game. The game time, 2 hours and 37 minutes,
Good
which
Lord.
included the 17 minutes before the rain delay, with a 2:40 rain delay. And then the postgame show was still on when I was driving home last night. So I don't know what time he walked out of here. Probably, 10 to 10:30 maybe last night. That was a long one for Sam Levitt. And he'll be back at it today with very few off days left, at least until September for the San Diego Padres.
Yeah, no doubt.
All right, Paulie's got some headlines. Let's get to the Reindl Report. And get things started here with our today's edition of the Reindl Report.
Now tuned into the greatest.
Welcome to the Reindl Report with Paul Reindl.
Hi, Paul.
All right.
2 stories from the world of sports that we haven't gotten to yet.
We'll start off in Major League Baseball.
And 1 story that you didn't know you needed.
Are you laughing, biatch?
It's the Reindl Report
Hey, Paul, how you doing?
Okay, how are you?
on 97.3 The Fan.
Are you ready to bless the mood? I need some help, please.
That was good.
Can I get a yeah? Oh, yeah.
All right.
All right.
All right.
Aloha.
Aloha to you.
Aloha to you.
Mahalo.
Aloha to you, Peni.
Good morning, Peni.
Aloha, everybody, and mahalo.
All right, let's get started. A little baseball news. I was kind of surprised to see this. There was an announcement yesterday that the Atlanta Braves and the Cincinnati Reds in 2025, next season, are going to play a Major League Baseball game, a regular season game.
On the moon.
Not on the moon. At
Worse.
Bristol Motor Speedway in
NASCAR
Tennessee.
track.
Trying to picture.
How many people? Do you know, Paulie, how many people they can fit in that place? Because I imagine it's a lot.
It says capacity here.
I saw Italian Paul tweeting about this.
Well, he's very excited. 150,000 is the Bristol Motor Speedway.
And who are the teams again?
Capacity. Braves and Reds.
Okay, yeah.
They did a football game there, I believe, a few years back.
Two of your, I mean, this is an insult, so I don't want to say it, but kind of your redneckier teams in baseball. I mean, come on. For being honest, right? Braves and Reds.
He's not wrong.
Yeah, I was just saying.
Well, welcome to Bristol, everybody.
I mean, you're going to play at a NASCAR track. You're probably not going to make
two
it,
of your redneckier teams.
It's probably not going to be Mariners Rockies at the NASCAR track. Let's just be honest.
Phillies.
They picked these teams pretty intentionally, I think.
Phillies and Yankees.
For the NASCAR game. Now, will they have a race going on outside the stadium at the same time?
I don't know
that
how
would
it's
be
going to
exciting.
look, but yeah, keep an eye out for that next season. It's just reported right now, but you can look on the public schedule for Tennessee Governor Bill Lee. He is scheduled to be at Bristol Motor Speedway on Friday morning, and Rob Manfred is also expected to be there Friday morning for some announcement. What could it be? I don't know, but yeah, all signs pointing to Braves and Reds.
Now they can't use all 150,000. There would be some horrifically bad seats for the baseball game at a NASCAR track where you're like half a mile away from home plate.
I don't know how that's going to work, but it says here the MLB game will be the first major sporting event outside of racing since 2016. The Tennessee Volunteers played the Virginia Tech Hokies in a football game. They set the record for NCAA's largest single game attendance that year.
All right, I mean,
150,000. Yeah, I mean,
again, I think that
it's a short oval. It's only a half-mile track.
Okay,
so,
yeah, I think again, baseball. I like thinking outside the box a little bit on things, but let's make games available to people, and then we can move them to different, various exotic locales like Tennessee. Let's get that problem solved before we start moving it and playing on basketball courts and other places.
Adam Klug, who's going to be in for Paulie the next 2 days, asked, did I just inadvertently call him a redneck?
Yeah,
being,
you did.
A Braves fan.
Actually.
Yeah, you did.
No, I don't think it was inadvertent.
What did you say?
Redneckier teams.
All right, so that's the story out of Bristol, Tennessee. Next up, we head to Westchester, Florida, where the FIU Panthers football team made an announcement yesterday that
Genius.
Pitbull, the musician, the artist Pitbull, has bought the naming rights for FIU football. It is now Pitbull Stadium.
Brilliant.
And I was actually shocked. Now, I don't know anything about FIU. I don't know what level they're at, what conference they're in.
They're actually Division One.
Yeah.
Pretty big program now.
Are they on the same? Yeah. So they're on the same level as far as Division One goes with San Diego State.
Yep.
And like Snapdragon.
Oh yeah.
Because the naming rights were
they're playing Conference USA. I mean, it's a small.
Yeah.
It's like a. It's not. They're not in like the
East
SEC,
Coast,
but
Mountain
they're
West.
pretty much the East Coast Mountain West. Yeah.
I was shocked when I saw it was a 5-year deal, cost $6 million.
Feels light.
That feels really
feels
low
light.
for naming rights.
It does.
At least $6 million a year.
Right.
Not only that, but he gets the stadium for concerts, right? And
Yeah. He got the naming rights to the stadium, obviously. It says his Voli 305 vodka, which I can only assume for Mr. 305, that's his vodka brand. That will be sold at all the games. He gets 2 suites, up to 40 people. He will have personal use of the venue for 10 days out of the year.
What would you use it
And
for?
he's the title
Concerts?
of the official entrepreneur.
Your own concerts, so you don't have to pay for your venue.
Yeah,
so you can
you
just keep
own the
all
venue.
all the revenues,
all the
right?
gate.
Yeah, it sounds like
I
a
thought
lot.
he was like wanted to go down and run routes.
I looked
for
it up 'cause
10 days a year. He can go down and do whatever he wants.
I couldn't remember. So the Snapdragon Stadium rights are $45 million for 15 years, so $3 million a year. So this is actually less than that. A better deal than Snapdragon Stadium.
Yeah, it's
What's
just $6 million for 5 years.
So it's
like
barely
$1
over
million.
1.2 million a year.
Yeah.
So yeah, less than half of what Snapdragon's paying for Snapdragon Stadium.
Wow. All right.
Start the GoFundMe
Now,
now
well,
for Ben and Woods Stadium.
Why don't maybe Florida International should just change their nickname to the Pitbulls?
The Pitbulls would be a great.
Yeah, I think that's the Panthers right now. But if you're going to play at Pitbull Stadium, you might as well be the Pitbulls.
Yeah, it's probably a lot of legalese you have to go through to change your mascot, right?
I guess so. But
that's cool.
Panthers is pretty blah.
I mean, I'm not a big pit bull fan, but I think that's a pretty.
But he
cool,
grew up like, right in that area.
Yeah, I love that.
And I think that's cool. Yeah.
Is he? Yeah, he has so much money. He's like, I'm just gonna buy naming rights to stadium now. I have so much money.
Matt wants to know how long until the East Coast Mountain West is actually the name of a conference. With the how far these conferences are spanning, you can't really come up with a good name for a conference anyway. Remember, the Big 12 is just going to sell it to like an insurance company or something. It's going to be like the All-State 12. So
he's got an estimated net worth of $100 million. So $6 million for 5 years. And I mean, probably gonna make that money back in vodka sales. And whatever else he's gonna do. I mean, if he wants to host 10 concerts there, he can and not have to pay the venue.
That's insane.
That's not bad at all.
Yeah, it's good investment for a savvy businessman.
All right, finally, this made me want to vomit yesterday, but the Arizona Cardinals at State Farm Stadium.
It's right down the street
State
from
Farm Stadium.
Right down the street from
Padres spring training
and Explicit.
I mean, you could walk to Explicit from the stadium.
It'd be hot, but yeah, you could get there. Yeah.
And so they have announced some new menu items for Cardinals games this year, and one of them includes a cotton candy burrito.
I do like burritos.
I love burritos.
This one is pushing the.
I watched a video of they roll cotton candy up, and inside of said burrito has not your traditional. Steak
not meat
or chicken, maybe some French fries, guacamole,
rice,
nothing, sour cream.
Thank
nothing.
God for that.
It's gonna have Fruity Pebbles, Fruit Loops, marshmallows, Skittles, mini M&Ms, gummy bears, sprinkles, all wrapped in a cotton candy like tortilla.
I gave Taylor like a little bit of shave ice. Sorry, somebody corrected me earlier. At like 8:00 at night. I might as well have given him crystal methamphetamine. I mean, so I can't imagine what a kid eating this. You're off your rocker. Also, you don't need M&Ms in there. If you're going to go with like the fruit flavor,
don't mix the chocolate.
Don't mix the chocolate and the fruit.
That's a good point.
You can bang that, and then it would be a little bit better.
So here's my logistical issue: cotton candy is best when it's wispy.
Yeah, wispy.
And,
not packed.
It's almost melts on your tongue. In order to have the integrity of a burrito shell, they're going to really have to layer the cotton candy to the point where it's now thick and chewy, which is not the best form of cotton candy. So you're making the cotton candy worse, and then you're stuffing it with a bunch of stuff that's kind of mismatched that doesn't go together. I think we've jumped the shark on this one. Big time.
This is finally we finally hit it.
Not to mention how just incredibly unhealthy that is.
Yeah, it's about as bad as anything you can eat.
I kind of want to throw up just looking at it.
I know it's not. I like some of the mixes of things, but this is not it.
We were going a little too far.
Yeah, unhealthy things, but at least in like our regular burrito, you get some protein or whatever.
Yeah,
some
get a little
steak,
chicken in there.
Meat,
yep.
This has zero redeeming value whatsoever. It's just sugar on top of sugar on top of sugar.
So gross,
on top of more sugar.
So gross.
Oh.
Thank you, Paulie.
Hey, you're welcome.
Yeah, we've gone too far. Yes. Scale it back, people. Scale it back.
I agree, Peni.
Penny.
Oh, sorry.
It's pronounced, my Hawaiian name is pronounced Penny.
I thought it was Peni.
No, Penny. It might be Penny, but I don't think it's Peni.
Penny.
I'm looking right at it. It says Peni.
I think it's
P-E-N-I.
Penny.
It's P-E-N-I. Peni.
How did you get to be Kiwi? That doesn't even sound like Steve.
It doesn't.
Paolo makes sense.
Paolo makes perfect sense.
But I know there's no B in Hawaiian, so I guess P is the closest.
Yeah.
But
my real name's Chuck, but I moved out here and then changed my name to Kunu.
Oh, that's so cool. What does that mean?
That means Chuck.
It means Chuck. So good. All right, wrap it up.
All right, we will take a quick break. We've got traffic come back.
Did you just tease traffic?
No, we got traffic. Then we come back. And we can talk about, what do you want to talk about? You're the one who's been gone for a while. I've been having to think about what to talk about for the last 8 shows.
That's true. You put me on the spot here. Coming up next, we got
What do you wanna
traffic.
tease?
We got traffic here on Ben and Woods. We'll be right back.
We get so focused on the Padres, I do sometimes forget that the biggest sporting event in the world is still going on in Paris. And I understand that Hannah is into the Olympics. You watched a lot of Olympics while you were on vacation. Too much, apparently, based on that reaction.
Inundated with Olympics, and it's not, it's not ending. She's obsessed with the Olympics. It's great. I watched, who's the swimmer?
Katie Ledecky.
She's fantastic.
She is.
She beat that
other swimmer.
What's her name?
Titmus. Ariane Titmus.
Yep.
From Australia.
And she was the one that was running her mouth a lot. Titmus was.
Good rivals.
Katie Ledecky.
And Simone Biles.
The
whole gymnastics story was very compelling.
Yeah. Watched a lot of it.
It is good. It's good sports drama. There is something about it that I think, I don't know if it's a male-female thing. Sometimes it does split along those lines, but I think it's more if you are an absolute day-to-day diehard baseball, football, whatever fan, it's a whole different kind of experience. The Olympics is about individual stories more than a season-long competition.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a different kind of sports fan watching. I'm not saying one is better or worse.
I don't hate the Olympics by any stretch, but I get a little bit worn out by it over time. And there's so much. You're just inundated. But everyone's been talking about, I think it was Paulie's recommendation, or was it yours? The gold zone.
Yeah.
Gold zone.
That's
One
good.
of you guys should take credit for it because everyone.
I'll take credit. It was in the Reindl Report.
It was in the Reindl Report. All right. So that's been great. But yeah, I watched the Titmus, Katie Ledecky battle.
Duels in the pool.
The whole family sat around on the couch and watched that, and that was pretty cool. That was a long.
I mean, it's on fairly early here in Hawaii. I'd imagine your first thing in the morning, you're getting prime time coverage from Paris.
I kept asking Hannah, how many more laps? Oh, she
does the long races.
Third of the way done. I'm like, will you text me when it gets close to the end, and then I'll come back in. I mean, it's remarkable. All I thought was how long that would take me to do what she did. It would take me about 2 months of start and stop.
1,600 meters or whatever
holy
it is.
Crap, dude. There's just no way. I mean, just complete and total athletes. Just incredible. So, yeah, I've watched more than I intended to.
Good soccer game yesterday. U.S. women's national team needed extra time to beat Germany 1-0 on a goal by Sophia Smith. The Waves' Naomi Gurma, defensive star, was really key in that one. So they'll play Brazil in the gold medal game on Saturday.
Nice.
And then the U.S. Basketball team is now just 2 wins away from another gold medal. They crushed Brazil yesterday, 122-87, and they're going to play Serbia in Thursday's semifinal to try to advance to the gold medal game. So, yeah, once I get to the second week, you start, the 100 meters is done. That was dramatic.
Dramatic.
The Noah Lyles, the photo finish,
that was
and
awesome.
what happened. We talked about that while you were gone as well. So it continues on, but there's definitely... It's a whole different experience. When you follow a team, like your favorite team, and you're following standings over the course of the year, it's like the exact opposite of an Olympic event, which is basically, all right, I'm going to find out about this sport, and then 5 minutes later, I'm going to see the pinnacle of this sport, and then 5 minutes after that, I'm not going to think about it again for another 4 years.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
We think about the Padres
every minute,
365 days a year, pretty much,
yep.
Every year, off season, in the season, everything. But with the Olympics, you get really excited about it, but it's for a really condensed period of time. And then Katie Ledecky is no longer in your thoughts until at least, 3 to 4 years from now, when they're getting ready for Los Angeles, if she's going to do it all over again.
Now, Mrs. Woods has already said that she is planning on going to the Olympics when it's in L.A., and it has not invited me yet, because I think she knows the answer. I'm just going to that can be a girls' trip. I'll watch the kids, and you guys can go. The Battle of L.A. traffic is gnarly on a Tuesday. I can't imagine what it's going to be like then. So go.
What event would she go to?
It's a good question. I mean, that's a good question. I'll ask her tonight and report back tomorrow.
Judo.
Yes, she loves judo. I watched some of the archery. It was pretty bad.
If you want to go to the Olympics,
do you pick
That's what I was going to ask
to
you.
watch in person?
Can I ask
You're
you?
like in a stadium and they're shooting an arrow a mile
and
away.
the thing's up against their cheek.
Does that look like that was in the bullseye? I can't tell from here.
Well, let me ask
like,
you
does
this.
she want to go to a specific event, like it's swimming or bust, or does she just want to go to the Olympics and she'll go to whatever ticket she can get her hands on?
She said, I want to go to the Olympics, but there's not the Olympics ticket. I'd like to buy one the Olympics tickets, please. And it's not an all
opening
access
ceremonies. I mean, does she want the pomp or does she want the actual competition?
She likes it all, but she likes the competition. So I think
you can go see Equestrian in Temecula.
Okay, that's close.
A little bit closer.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm gonna pass on it. I'll watch it on TV.
You could go to something, I mean, like if you don't want to spend too much time, you could go to like speed climbing. Did you see that one yesterday? Sam Watson, the American, set the world record. 4.75 seconds. Got from bottom to top. Done. You won.
4.75?
His entire Olympic event lasted less than 5 seconds. Trained for years for his big 5-second moment at the Olympics when he won gold medal.
We've all been there. Am I right or am I right? Have we talked about the Rally Roach yet? The 8-2
we
Rally
kept it
Roach?
going, yeah, while you were gone. We
It's
kept
right
the
here.
Rally Roach going.
I mean, how long until it's a thing?
Kissed it every morning.
Mwah. How long until it's like a real thing?
I don't know.
Like I want to put out a Rally Roach shirt, but I know they'll start losing.
I'm afraid to.
Me too.
Like,
I'm afraid
we've
to
had
really
listeners
commit.
Send us some really cool stuff over the last couple of weeks, but I've been so hesitant because
Me too, dude.
How many times have we been bitten by this where we put something out there, we get all
yeah.
excited,
Oh, yeah.
and then incoming 5-game losing
I mean,
streak.
you remember the goose, the Rally Goose.
Yep.
And then, the KOSI dads are going to sing a song about the Rally Roach, and it's going to be over. So you have to be careful with these things.
I'm sending this out over this platform right now. I'm going to take this moment. I'm going to warn all of you who are even thinking about it.
Just stop now.
Just don't even entertain it this year. It's gone really well. There's been an absence of bits. And I'm going to take my own advice. We're not going to put out a shirt.
That's what's in.
We're just going to continue to kiss the Rally Roach, and it'll stay here in the studio. 8-2 since the Rally Roach.
Let's go,
show.
Roach.
Yeah, let's go, Roach. You know who you are. You know who I'm talking about. I'm not even going to say his name. Don't do it this year. Don't be the guy. Don't be the guy that does it this year. I'm begging you. Okay? Don't mess with anything. Things are going great. Let's keep it going. Yeah, like Johnny says, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. We don't make much money off of T-shirts anyway, so it's not like we're going to clean up on a Rally Road shirt. Now, if they make the World Series, fine. But, because then it's let the chips fall where they may. But right now, let's stay bitless. Let's stay bitless. All Padres fans out there this year. No songs, no country songs, no rap songs. I'm begging you. From the bottom
Paulie's
of my heart.
already created country songs for the Padres.
Yeah,
multiple country songs.
Let
this
AI
week.
make it. Yep, let AI make it, as Andros says. So, yeah, man. 8-2 though. I like that. We'll keep kissing the Roach.
I mean, as long as it's working, you have to at least kiss the Roach.
100%.
But they can just leave it at that.
Leave it at that. Don't need anything else.
All right. Final segment coming up. You often tell me that I reveal things to you.
Yes.
That continue to surprise after 6 years.
Oh, God. Do you have another one?
Nope.
Oh.
Nope. This one was from Don Orsillo last night. I don't know if you caught this, but Don made a bit of a revelation during the game that we were talking about actually at Channel 10 last night when he said it. And I want to get your thoughts on what Don had to say in our final segment of Ben and Woods coming up next year on 97.3 The Fan.
Oh, Paulie's going to pop his cherry tonight at Foo Fighters, his Foo Fighters cherry.
Foo Fighters.
The Foo Fighters. First time seeing Dave Grohl and company coming in playing Petco Park tonight.
Very excited.
Excited for you. They put on a really good show, and he's very energetic. I don't know how he does it. He's been doing it a long time, and they're going to be playing Petco tonight. Very excited for you, man.
It's going to be a good time, man. I think I've said this before, so I apologize, but when Taylor Hawkins passed away,
yeah, it was brutal.
That sucked. I mean, they were one of my favorite bands, and I never saw them, the original band.
It's the worst.
And it was also a little bit of a hangover from the pandemic, missing live events.
Yeah.
I just go, you know what? I'm done. If there's something I want to see, if my favorite band is coming to town, I'm going. And didn't get to see them before Taylor died, but this is their first tour since. And cannot wait to go tonight.
Now, I'm exhausted from traveling and whatnot, but I don't have any FOMO at 9:38 this morning. I have none. I just want to go home and sleep. But I will have it
later
today when I see all the pictures and I've seen him a bunch of times.
Who's the opening act?
Yeah, who is the opening act?
I don't know.
All right, it's
Alex G.
Alex G. Is that somebody in the chat? That's what it sounds like. Yeah, man. I saw them many, many years ago. I've seen them probably 5-6 times since. Oh, the Hives are playing? The Hives are awesome. The Hives kick ass.
Alex G, the Hives, and Foo Fighters.
Yeah, the Hives. Don't miss the Hives.
Okay.
High energy, incredible band. It's a great show. Jealous. Adam Klug's going too?
Yeah, I just found that out this morning.
He's going as well. You and I are the only ones not going. Now, Adam said he's sitting in the suite.
Oh.
What does the suite mean?
The suite.
Is that like Odyssey's suite?
I would assume that's what the suite
I don't think it's
means.
the Foo Fighters
So I've been
suite.
here, we've been here, what, 5-6 years? 5 years?
This is our 6th year.
This is our 6th year. I didn't know that the suite existed for concerts. I spend a fortune on concert tickets. A fortune on concert tickets at Petco Park.
This is only the second on the field
So
concert.
you're saying you don't think
stadium
Adam
concert.
is spending a fortune
Something
to go
tells
to the
me
suite?
that he's
He
just
didn't
going.
rent his own the suite.
So
for
is the
for
suite just
concerts?
going to be like the bosses hanging out in the suite? Because I've never even been offered the suite.
If Adam offers you right now to go to the suite tonight, will you go?
He's going to say no.
No, I can't. I'm exhausted. I'm absolutely fried. There's just no chance. Adam said all you had to do is ask. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. The suite is a thing. All right, well, now we know. Next time there's a big show we want to see at Petco Park, we're putting
The
in our
suite.
request for the suite. I had
Dia
no
de
idea
los
this existed.
Deftones, the suite.
Guess who already spent a fortune on Dia de los Deftones tickets? I got tickets the other day.
Are they playing Gallagher Square? Or are they playing
No, it's
Petco?
both
Petco.
now. Yeah, it's big now.
Wow.
It's really big. And I told Bo, because he's gone with me for the last 3 years, I go, hey, I got our Deftones tickets. You know what this little turd did? He goes, VIP? I go, oh my God, I'm going to kill you, dude. He just he goes, VIP? I was like, bro, come on. You're 6. You're 6.
You want a meet and greet before? What is he looking for?
Yeah, anything else I can do for you, bud, after your trip to Hawaii?
I'm a little nervous because as I told you this morning,
Yeah.
I think I damn near broke my foot last night playing basketball.
Paulie had an ankle injury.
You and AJ Preller has a torn plantar fascia.
Does he
as
well?
Well.
I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
Mm-hmm. Found that out when I went down last week and talked to him.
Both hoops injuries, I'm assuming?
Yeah, I rolled it light rolling.
Yes, you had a
whatever.
light dusting of it
A couple
of your
weeks
ankle.
ago, and I guess I've played several times since
And you played
then.
baseball.
Yeah, and it's been okay, but apparently it was not up to full strength. I just thought it was up to full strength, and literally, our first possession of the game last night rolled it bad. Like getting X-rays after the show this
So
morning.
do you not tape your ankles before a game
I
or wrap them?
do. And
You do?
It was like sore. I just bought a new ankle stabilizer that'll go around my foot in my shoe. So hopefully that helps once I'm ready to go. But yeah, very, very painful.
Now, have you guys-
been
I've
in pain
literally
all
never
morning
taped
today.
a body part in my life.
Man, come on.
Ever
Really?
once.
Have you guys seen like what Janine just said? Did you guys talk about this? About Dia de los Deftones?
Yes.
You did talk about
We
it. while I
did.
was gone.
If it goes Game 7 of the World Series at home, they'd be on the same day.
Now, Janine says the front office doesn't have faith in this team, apparently.
No, they do.
I'd say they have the ultimate faith in this
get it
team.
done before
They get it done
7.
before Game 7.
Also, we talked about yesterday, the MLB announced flex scheduling. So if both league championship series end in 5 or fewer, they're starting the World Series 3 days earlier, and it will be over
good.
in October rather than November. So there's a lot of ways around a Game 7 possibly conflicting with a concert at Petco Park.
Yeah.
But I would have said 3 weeks ago,
they don't go into it willy-nilly.
No chance the Padres have a home game in Game 7. All right, the way they've been playing, it's not out of the question that they could not only catch the Dodgers and get a bye, but who knows, depending on who comes out of the American League, you could actually have home field in the World Series now. So
that's a good problem to have.
It is a good problem.
Really, I'd be happy to forego my tickets or push to another date. So, Paulie, you're going to be – Paulie is on one ankle. You going with your wife tonight?
No, my buddy Tom's going.
Your buddy Tom is going. Now, you're on one ankle, crutches, I would imagine. You're getting x-rays after the show.
Possible, yeah.
What if they give him one of those carts?
The scooter?
With the one knee and you have to roll it around?
Roll around. That always looks so painful to me.
I think if I am on crutches, which I've never had crutches before, but I think I'll be fine. Because I like to stand during the concert.
Yeah,
but at
you
least...
say that until you get crutch rash under your arm. It's the worst. Oh, crutches are the worst. They are the worst.
And then, yes, Adam has pointed out in the chat that he will be going to the concert. He didn't know he was going, I don't think, until like tonight.
Yeah, you know why? Because the suite opened up for him.
And he's like, well, one of us is going to the we're both going to the show, but only one of us will be at work tomorrow. I'm like,
yeah,
you know what?
TRM says get a sweet cane. Yes, 100%.
I was thinking that too.
Get
a cane.
We were in the airport.
A walking stick.
We were in the airport on the way out there, and my kids and I were walking, and this old lady dropped her cane on the ground as we passed her, and it sounded like a gunshot. I dropped 3 feet in the air. I jumped 3 feet there. Whack! Paulie, get a cane and cane your ass
weird
around.
Enough getting crutches. I think I'm not old enough for a cane.
Cane your ass around Petco Park.
You get a
tonight.
monocle, and you can be Mr. Monopoly.
Mr. Peanut.
Mr. Peanut. That's right.
So then, she's taking tomorrow off, which you deserve.
I'm going to sleep in and pack and
then you
laundry.
leave for Washington State.
Friday morning.
For
early.
what?
Bachelor party.
Bachelor party.
We're going to Leavenworth, Washington.
Sounds awesome.
It's like a 2-hour drive.
That's not like the Leavenworth that has the prison.
No, that's in Kansas.
Totally different.
That's in Kansas.
It's like a 2-hour drive from Seattle. It's in the mountains, like just off.
It's like a Danish town. I've driven through it before. It's
great.
Bavaria. They've got you like pastries, and it's going to be a
Beer
pastry heavy
pastries.
bachelor party.
We got the river right there. We're going to do a river float on Saturday for like 5 miles.
You guys should check out while you're there the Nutcracker Museum. It has thousands of nutcrackers, some dating back centuries.
Why wouldn't we?
I'm going to look up adult entertainment.
I don't know that there's going to be a lot of those options.
Leavenworth, Washington, adults only. What's this? Now I know why you're going there. It's the adult-only hotel called the Post Hotel.
Ooh.
Very nice. All right.
We already booked an Airbnb, so I don't know if we're staying there.
All right. Well, there's adults only there. Sounds like a good time. Are you excited about going?
Not really.
Not really. Yeah, it happens.
All right, I promised.
Legitimately, I'm
inside
really
the mind of Don Orsillo. We will get to that right after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Wrapping up our morning drive, kind of on a busy note here, guys. You're still going to find that transition ramp westbound 905 to the northbound 5 connector closed, all due to a fatal accident that happened around 6:30 this morning. Also, a collision on westbound 52 past the 125. It's over to the right shoulder. Eastbound 76 via Montserrat. There is a collision in the center divide. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
There was once when we did Saturday Night Live, and Christopher Walken was the host.
Amazing.
And he comes up and he's like, he asked us if the accent was on Foo or Fighters. And we know who he is. Like, of course, we know how he speaks. And we said, the accent is on Fighters, actually. So he goes up, he's like, ladies and gentlemen, Foo Fighters. Because I knew that's what happened. I was like, don't say, most people say Foo Fighters, but the way Christopher Walken says it, Foo Fighters.
Ladies and gentlemen, Foo Fighters.
The Foo Fighters.
So good.
This hour on 97.3 The Fan is brought to you by Express Employment Professionals. If your supply chain demands a flexible workforce, hire with Express Employment Professionals. With contract and full-time workers from Express Employment, you get the staff you need. Manage contingent labor costs. Learn more at expresspros.com. That's expresspros.com. So with the long rain delay, obviously, you expected the game to be over around 6:30 at the latest last night. But with the time change, it got really late on the East Coast for Don and Mud as they were doing the broadcast. And somewhere around, I think, the 7th inning or so, Don's phone alarm went off. And Mud asked him about it. And he said, what do you have your alarm set for? And he goes, oh, that's my go-to-bed alarm. And
a go-to-bed alarm?
And I was wondering, do other people do this? Like set an alarm to remind you it's time to go to bed? Because I've never done that in my life.
It does?
I have like the sleep, the focus modes on your iPhone.
Right.
And so at 9:15 on weeknights, my phone switches from like personal or whatever, normal mode to sleep mode where the background turns black, notifications turn off because that means I'm shutting it down. Like if you call me, I think twice, in a few seconds, it'll go through. Other than that, it goes to sleep mode. And then my alarm goes off at 4 a.m. And so at 9:14, I get an alert, like a push notification on my phone that says, it's almost time for bedtime or whatever.
I mean, I haven't had a bedtime since I was like 10. And I really haven't. I go to sleep when I'm tired. And basically I know I'm tired when I start falling asleep. And
it could be in the middle of an interview, could be in a CEO
it's time
meeting,
to go to bed now.
Could be in anything.
Yes, and I'm plenty tired. I have no trouble going to sleep, but I don't ever look at a clock and go, oh, it's 10 o'clock. I need to go to bed now. And I wondered, is that common or uncommon what Don does? That 10. I didn't realize I was watching a TV show and now it's time for bed. I need to be reminded of it.
Yeah, TRM1 in the chat says, paraphrasing what Don said, it tells me to put my devices down, go read a book or something. Now, I struggle with sleep a lot, man. I really do. And once I do fall asleep, I don't sleep well. I've tried it all. I've tried all your recommendations. I read plenty on how the best way is. And everybody says you got to put your phone down. You got to quit scrolling. You got to turn your brain off. Look at this red light or blue light or do some meditation or whatever. I can't, in my mind, though, I have to fall asleep with something playing on my phone. I have to. I put a movie on. I take an Ambien. I try to sleep. Like, I know that's not the best way. It's probably why I have fitful sleep, but it's just what works.
I know my life sometimes sounds miserable with how much I'm awake and how little I sleep. But one thing that's great about it is I never lay there going, "Oh, I wish I could just get to sleep."
If
I want to fall asleep, I can fall asleep instantly whenever I want to, and I like that. I don't like the feeling of like trying to get myself to sleep. All right, really need to go to bed. It's 10 o'clock. If I don't go to bed now, I'm going to be a wreck tomorrow. And you're like laying there, like worrying and thinking. I don't do that because as soon as my head hits the pillow, I'm out.
Bananas.
I'm asleep.
Yeah, like Jeff says, if you have ADHD, you can't just turn your brain off. I can't do it. And I lay there, and especially if it's a little bit late, and I'm like, did I take an Ambien or did I not? Oh, no. Well, I think I did, so I'm going to try to get myself to fall asleep. It is just impossible for me.
All right, I've seen a number of people who go, like Paulie, they may have at least a time where it kind of, all right, we're starting to change into sleep mode later in the night. But I work essentially until bedtime. I work, I drive home, I go to bed. So I've never really had that, at least in my adult life, where there's like, oh, I should, I had dinner and then I was doing some stuff with the kids and TV, and now it's time to go to bed. No, it's just I get home from work and it's now time to go to bed.
I may stay up past 9:15. I'm just saying my phone pretty much shuts itself down at 9:15 on weeknights.
Interesting.
So I got this new phone, this Garmin, and it's incredible. New watch. The Garmin, you can wear it. I wore it in the ocean when I swam. You can wear it in the water. It's phenomenal. But it has sleep score. I mean, dude, last night I slept 3 hours and 49 minutes. 3 hours and 49 minutes.
Good.
That's terrible.
Oh, is that bad?
Terrible.
I thought that was
yeah,
good.
It's a horrible.
My perception may be skewed. What a good sleep day.
I mean, it's just pathetic. But so I told you about the day in Hawaii where I woke up sad and didn't want to do anything and just kind of laid around all day. it has this sleep coach that will say, like, hey, get some extra rest today. You need it. It said, you've rested enough today. I literally laid on my ass for like 8 hours. It said, you've rested enough. Go out and move. Because I just couldn't do it, man. I was just so bummed and relaxed. I love this thing, though. This thing has been the best investment I've ever had.
All right, quick question for you last couple of minutes as we get ready for Padres game number 2 of the series, because I saw this stat this morning. Do you have any idea who leads baseball in grounding into double plays?
Manny Machado.
Correct. 22 after 2 more last night. You have any idea who's second? Be Luis Urias.
Oh.
Padres hit into a lot of double plays.
They do.
Are we okay with that, though? I mean, with their style of baseball, making contact, getting on base, guys who hit for high average, so you've got guys on first base a lot, and then the guy behind them, makes contact a lot. They don't strike out very much. It's inevitable. There's nothing they can really do about that. And I guess you have to either be okay with it or you don't. But I see people who get frustrated. Oh, it's Manny rolling into another double play again. Well,
double plays suck.
They do,
There's
but
no
it also means you're putting guys on base and you're making contact, and usually pretty sharp contact. A double play, while it's definitely the worst outcome when, you got a guy on first base and you're trying to start a rally, also means you're doing two of the things right that you're supposed to be doing.
Putting the ball in play.
Putting guys on base and putting the ball in play, which is essentially the Padres' offensive game plan. I don't think there's any way around it. As long as the Padres go with this, this offensive strategy that's been working for them, there's going to be a lot of double plays. They're going to hit into double plays, and I think we need to chill maybe a little bit and lose the frustration when they do. It doesn't mean that they're failing and doing things wrong. It means they're actually doing what they're supposed to be doing and doing it right, and it just happened to be the wrong outcome that one time.
Yeah, I mean, listen, they're winning, so I couldn't care less. And like with Manny last night, I was texting with a buddy. He said 0 for 5. 2 double plays, but his defense more than made up for it, So
I'm going to try to zen myself on the double plays because we all get frustrated when we see them. But
let's start the runners a little more. You know what I mean? Get the guy going.
And Schilt does that sometimes. They had a nice Xander Bogaerts said the hit and run was actually his RBI single there too. So anyway, just wanted to throw that in at the end of the show.
This is what they say in Hawaii when they're about to leave. They say, "We go,
we go, everybody." We go. Annie Nelson next.